the glue walls, just trying to stay alive. They pick each other off, but Bicker just knocks him back down again. You get back up, and he's gonna knock you down. Geek Fam not giving them any spaces. Freedom Rumble is stuck under this bridge. So the flight that is, but nobody's died yet, which is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, if Cobra gets caught right now, he's most definitely going to die because the guy has got no more glue walls on him. Cloud's taking the fight up. Oh, Vegeta! Sorry, Raw. Donkey now holding on to an angle. Won't be able to spray down. No build. Cannot take the kill just yet. Here comes Gas for the backup, but Gas gets sprayed down as well by the one and only Donkey. Arrow comes through. One guy from the top. iFence now going in for the shot, but it's a 2-on-1 situation. Imira with the backup, and it just looks like no escape. Umbrella will not be able to escape. Sorry, Raw.
Now you don't. Like, you had a hard time just even drawing a beat on this guy, but no! Look at that ambush from Shark just jumping in from the roof. Gave him no chance.
Yeah, Blaze just not turning around in time. Shark now right in front, but the shotgun of Error. Ooh, and Shark backs away in the nick of time. And the double vectors! But Mentrix now overcoming this situation really quick. Mocha with a shotgun. Pikai down on the ground, taking a 2-on-1 situation. Perhaps a little bit of distraction will do Gamora a lot of good. Cyber with the game of survival, but it would be Secret Expert that nails the final one.
Kepantasan, ketakasan dan kepintaran adalah syarat untuk memenangi cabaran ini. Siapakah yang akan memenangi? Adakah pasukan pemain kita ataupun Mr. Wega?
Anda sedang menonton rancangan permainan Free Fire Challengers Malaysia. Nama saya Timu Slasho AJ bersama Haji Yan. Dan untuk merancakkan lagi peringkat akhir FFCM, kita ada wakil daripada Blacklist International dan juga Geek Fam. Ya. Blacklist International akan participate dalam game yang pertama, Geek Fam akan participate dalam game yang kedua. Dan dalam game yang ketiga, mereka akan bergabung kuasa untuk menewaskan Mr. Wagon. Jangan lupa untuk mengundi salah satu daripada 5 ganjaran milestone penonton yang bakal anda terima sekiranya para pemain menang.
Cabaran kita yang pertama diberikan nama The Safe Zone Royale.
Mengekalkan diri di dalam safe zone adalah keutamaan permainan Battle Royale. Pemain dan Mr. Wagger harus lari mengelilingi bulatan sehingga muzik berhenti. Pasukan pertama yang duduk di atas kerusi di dalam zon selamat menang. Looking at the fact, it is a 2 versus 1, so it will be a 3-legged race by Blacklist International.
Round 1.
Mr. Wagger, are you ready? Blacklist International, are you ready?
Yeah!
All right, 1, 2, 3!
Kita lihatkan betapa struggle-nya player kita dengan berkaki 3 untuk mengejar Mr. Wagger.
Showtime! Oh, sempat moonwalk lagi, Mr. Wagger. Blacklist International tidak dapat menangkap the one and only Mr. Wagger.
NANI? お前はもう死んでいる。
Mampu menolak kerusi, tetapi Blacklist International tidak mau mengalah. They get the victory. So it looks like our challengers, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, have gotten the first 10 points. And Mr. Wagger with the big bad swagger. Nampaknya moonwalk dia pun tidak memberikan kita apa-apa.
Ya, betul tu. Nampaknya Mr. Wagger harus cuba dengan lebih keras untuk round yang seterusnya.
Macam terlalu senang pula untuk Blacklist tadi.
Apa kata kita panggil Akik daripada Geek Fam
Oh, what a
untuk
great idea.
menentukan nasib pasukan Blacklist untuk yang kedua. Anda diminta untuk spin dekat sini apakah handicap kepada pasukan Blacklist. Mulakan putaran anda sekarang.
Nampaknya tidak boleh berkomunikasi lah kali ni
Selalunya kalau final zone tak ada komunikasi, mereka akan mati di dalam zone.
Round 2.
Kalau kita lihat kan, pasukan Blacklist, salah seorang playernya tak dengar muzik. Dia pakaikan headphone, dia sudah tak dengar muzik.
Just as Blacklist International is, walau tak ada
Oh, nampak. Kita lihat. Nampaknya agak lambat sedikit kita punya pemain daripada Blacklist untuk mengesan bunyi yang telah pun diberhentikan, dan Mr. Wagger sangat alert kali ini kerana memberi pertolongan secara putaran tadi kepada Mr. Wagger dan akhirnya memberikan mata penyamaan buat Mr. Wagger.
Let's see what happens in the final round. And this time we have Izzat daripada pihak Geek Fam.
Izzat akan menentukan nasib salah satu player daripada pasukan Blacklist National. Alright, so Izzat silakan.
Roda musibah, musibah besar, musibah. Oh my goodness.
Yes, mereka kena lagi jauh berbanding Mr. Wagger.
As the challenges get more difficult,
Yep.
Blacklist International gets even better.
So, dah bersedia ke untuk pusingan yang ketiga?
Are you ready?
Whoa!
Alright, and go!
Alright, so kita lihat Mr. Wagger dah round yang ketiga masih lagi bertenaga, manakala kita lihat pasukan Blacklist kita berada di luar bulatan, semakin jauh bulatannya untuk mengejar kerusi sebentar lagi. So muzik akan diberhentikan pada bila masa saja. So arahan akan datang daripada Izzat sama ada untuk masuk ke dalam safe zone ataupun tidak. Pasukan Blacklist berusaha keras nak menang untuk round yang ketiga ini sebenarnya.
Betul Haji, dan nampaknya kita betul lah bila cabaran tu dah meningkat dah. You know, you see the fire in them. When the going gets tougher, it looks like Blacklist International just gets stronger, my friend.
Yep, so apapun kita berikan mata tambahan lagi pasukan Blacklist untuk pusingan yang ketiga sebentar tadi.
Absolutely. So if you are supporting the players, I'm sure you guys are absolutely happy. We will catch you guys in episode number 2 because it's just not a one-game affair.
Yeah.
We still have got Geek Fam waiting by the sidelines for it.
Jangan lupa untuk menyaksikan Grand Final Free Fire Challengers Malaysia pada 5 hari bulan 2 nanti.
Dan nantikan ganjaran milestone anda. Dan jangan lupa untuk mengundi ganjaran yang anda mahukan.
Jumpa anda di next episode.
the glue walls, just trying to stay alive. They pick each other off, but Bicker just knocks him back down again. You get back up, and he's gonna knock you down. Geek Fam not giving them any spaces. Bigger Rumble is stuck under this bridge. So the flank that is, but nobody's died yet, which is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, if Cobra gets caught right now, he's most definitely going to die because the guy has got no more glue walls on him. Cloud's taking the fight up. Oh, Vegeta! Sorry, Raw. Donkey now holding on to an angle. Won't be able to spray down. No build. Cannot take the kill just yet. Here comes Gas for the backup, but Gas gets sprayed down as well by the one and only Donkey. Arrow comes through. One guy from the top. iFence now going in for the shot, but it's a 2-on-1 situation. Imira with the backup, and it just looks like no escape. Umbrella will not be able to escape. Sorry, Raw.
Now you don't. Like, you had a hard time just even drawing a beat on this guy, but no, look at that ambush from Shark just jumping in from the roof. Gave him no chance.
Yeah, Blaze just not turning around in time. Shark now right in front, but the shotgun of Error. Ooh, and Shark backs away in the nick of time. And the double vectors! But Metrix now overcoming this situation really quick. Mocha with a shotgun. Pikai down on the ground, taking a 2-on-1 situation. Perhaps a little bit of distraction will do Gamora a lot of good. Cyber with the game of survival, but it would be Secret Expert that nails the final one.
Kepantasan, ketakasan dan kepintaran adalah syarat untuk memenangi cabaran ini. Siapakah yang akan memenangi? Adakah pasukan pemain kita ataupun Mr. Wega?
Anda sedang menonton rancangan permainan Free Fire Challengers Malaysia. Nama saya Mustachio AJ bersama Haji Yan. Dan untuk merancakkan lagi peringkat akhir FFCM, kita ada wakil daripada Blacklist International dan juga Geek Fam. Ya. Blacklist International akan participate dalam game yang pertama, Geek Fam akan participate dalam game yang kedua. Dan dalam game yang ketiga, mereka akan bergabung kuasa untuk menewaskan Mr. Wagon. Jangan lupa untuk mengundi salah satu daripada 5 ganjaran milestone penonton yang bakal anda terima sekiranya para pemain menang.
Cabaran kita yang pertama diberikan nama The Safe Zone Royale.
Mengekalkan diri di dalam safe zone adalah keutamaan permainan Battle Royale. Pemain dan Mr. Wagger harus lari mengelilingi bulatan sehingga muzik berhenti. Pasukan pertama yang duduk di atas kerusi di dalam zon selamat menang.
Looking at the fact, it is a 2 versus 1. So it will be a 3-legged race by Blacklist International.
Round 1.
Mr. Wagger, are you ready? Blacklist International, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2,
3. Kita lihat kan betapa struggle-nya player kita dengan berkaki 3 untuk mengejar Mr. Wagger.
Showtime! Oh, sempat moonwalk lagi, Mr.
Yeah.
Wagger. Blacklist International tidak dapat menangkap the one and only Mr. Wagger.
NANI?
お前はもう死んでいる。
They almost done it, Mr. Wagger. Mampu menolak kerusi, tetapi Blacklist International tidak mau mengalah.
Yeah.
And they get the victory.
Oh.
So it looks like our challengers, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Yeah.
have gotten the first 10 points. And Mr. Wagger with the big bad swagger. Nampaknya moonwalk dia pun tidak memberikan kita apa-apa.
Ya, betul tu. Nampaknya Mr. Wagger harus cuba dengan lebih keras untuk round yang seterusnya.
Macam terlalu senang pula untuk Blacklist tadi.
Apa kata kita panggil Akik daripada Geek Fam
Oh, what a
untuk
great idea.
menentukan nasib.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Free Fire Challengers Series Malaysia, where we've gathered the top 18 Free Fire teams within the country to slug it out across 4 weeks. Today is day 5 of the league stages and also the first day after the group shuffle. What sort of mayhem does that have in store for us? We will have to wait and see. My name's AJ, the Mustachio, down with me at the casting desk today, the one and only amazing Holler.
How are you doing today on this fine Saturday evening? It's going to be prime time, and we're going to be into the Challengers Malaysia Season 1. I'm looking forward to this. Obviously, we saw a lot of the content that was just on. The game show was going on. Blacklist International seemed to be really fired up, at least musical chairs. I don't know about Free Fire, but nonetheless, they've done quite well in the league as well, and you talked about the shakeup. There's a lot to talk about there. We're going to go more into that as we show you the new shakeup with the different groups, but I'm happy to be here. Mustachio, I mean, what are you thinking about? You got a sneak peek of that group shakeup. What are your thoughts?
Here's the thing, man. We had the group of death, and I expected the group of death to be all shaken up, but all we had was a change of name for the group of death from Group C into Group A. You guys will understand exactly what I'm talking about in a little bit. I'm not happy with the group shuffles because it ain't shuffle real good just yet. But here's exactly what all of this shuffling is for, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. All of this mayhem slugging it out for 125,000 ringgit across 4 weeks and 1 day of grand finals. But for the league stage alone, this is exactly what they'll be getting. Pocket money, basically, Holler. 250 ringgit for those who play 17 and 18, 500 ringgit for those who take the 15 and 16 spot, 750 for those who take the 13 and 14th, 1,000 ringgit if you place anywhere between the 9th as well as 12th, and 1,250 for those who take that 7th and 8th spot, 1,500 in that 6th place. It gets a little bit better from that on, Holler.
Yeah, I mean, 5th place is 2,000, 4,000. 2,000 as well. 3rd place with 2,500. 2nd place with 5,000, and 1st place is 7,500. And I'm sorry, but that is not just pocket money at this point, right? But nonetheless, once you get into the top 12, you're going to get into the next big one, which is of course going to be the grand finale. That's where everyone wants to be, and that's of where we are, and then it's going to be one last chance to get the real money, and it's not just going to be just pocket change. It's going to be a lot more than that, right?
Well, the next page, what we have in store for all of those players for the grand finals, will make this first page look like pocket change, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because the bulk load of the prize pool is waiting for us over there. But I have to slow down my speech as we wait for the graphics to... There you go! And of course, we'll take it from the bottom. 500 ringgit for the 11th and 12th spot, 750 for the 9th and 10th, 1,000 ringgit for those who take that 7th and 8th placement, 3,000 ringgit for those who pick up the 6th. 5th place gets 5,000 ringgit.
4th place is 7,500. 3rd is 10,000. 2nd is 20,000. And 1st place is the almighty 45,000. And I'm a little disappointed because they're probably not going to share with us. But nonetheless, they're going to go home with a lot of change, and they're going to be able to buy a lot of skins, a lot of, I guess, bragging rights at this point, because you're going to get 1st place, which is, a pretty sizable feat, especially at that stage. Challengers Malaysia, super competitive. We have the top 18 teams, and to make it the top 12 into the grand finals and then getting 1st place, you are the best of the best, and major props to you.
Oh yeah, amen, sir. I mean, I don't even want to fight them for that prize pool, man. I see the way these guys battle it out on that battlefield. And no, my skills just won't cut it. And of course, if we were to go out there, teams like MND, Diehard, Hero, Navora, New Gang, No Escape, Umbrella, Metrics, they'll be smiling year to year as they try to take us down with absolute ease. And you know why they want to be trying to take us down very early on? Because each and every one of those skills, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it gets you 1 point. And in terms of placement, you will be able to score, but depending on exactly how you perform within the lobby itself, of course, 11th and 12th spot, 0 points. 1 point if you pick up the 10th place. Every single placement that you get better from that point on, you get an additional 1 point all the way up to that 2nd spot. And if you do get the elusive Booyah, you get the 12 points.
Yeah, it's actually going to be pretty massive. Everybody wants the Booyah, of course, and with that, you're going to be guaranteed some kills. But, it's just kind of balancing out the teams in terms of how you want to play. Every team has their own style. Some people look to play a little bit more, defensively, and they just try to stick together and just stay alive, right? And then that will get you the high in terms of the placement points. But kills are kind of where it's at. If you're looking at some of the top teams, and we'll go through all the stats later throughout the show, you're going to see that the top teams are there because they're pretty much killers at this point, right? They're getting a ton of kills. They're making sure that every team is going to respect them and doesn't really want to fight them. That's like the biggest thing about, any sort of battle royales, if you're going to see them. Now, this is going to be the first time we've shaken this up to the league. It's going to be Group A A, B, and C. And of course, we talked to you mentioned about it earlier, the fact that Group C was the group of death. But it looks like a lot of those teams are actually just into Group A.
Yeah, man, they just applied for a transfer from Group C to Group A. The only one who's upset here is Icon. Icon's just wondering, like, why did I have to get stuck between all of these monsters, man? But you know what? Icon, in their own fair share and in their own fair right, they're a monster themselves in the 6th spot right now. So Group A truly is shaping up to be a crazy setup, right? And Geek Fam kind of avoiding all of that firepower. They've managed to jump on into Group B to join Deborah, EWG, New Gang, Secret Expert, as well as Team Princess. And this is going to be something that Argon MY, Blacklist International, Freedom Rumble, they're not going to be so, overjoyed about this, right? Sorry, Roy included, because they kind of will be feeling like Geek Fam has gotten this easy, because there will be that one round where Geek Fam will be able to prey upon everybody else without them having any say whatsoever, Holla.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. Group A, of course, having the 1st, 2nd, and the 4th place in Argon Malaysia, Blacklist International, and Sorry Roar. That's in the top 5 and through all of the league and through all of the different teams. Group B, on the other hand, you talked about Geek Fam, they're 3rd place. Secret Expert are in 5th place. So those are 2 powerhouses that you need to look out for in Group B. Now, if you're looking at Group C, the highest one in that one is actually going to be Epic. But for today, it's going to be day 5. This is the league stage, and it's going to, of course, the schedule. It's going to be bouncing between Purgatory and Bermuda. And mind you, this is Free Fire. We really do stick to a schedule. It's going to be every 30 minutes that, the different maps are going to change, and you're going to see how things play out, especially with A versus B starting things off with match 1 and 2, B versus C in match 3 and 4, and A versus C in match 5 and 6.
In Purgatory as well as Bermuda, we will not have to face the elevation problems like Kalahari brings in. But, in terms of managing the distance between some of these compounds, finding a vehicle, making sure your vehicle does not really blow up, making sure you maneuver around that battlefield easy, it's not gonna be an easy day at all, Holla. I'm absolutely stoked for exactly what we can expect in here today. Do you have a prediction for what sort of chaos will erupt later on when Group B takes on Group C? Because once again, we have to highlight that Geek Fam will be the apex predator in that.
Yeah, but it's one of those moments where you've taken out a lot of the Group C killers, and now they're in Group A, and there's going to be moments where those teams aren't playing. So this is the time when Group C, when you have it and you're kind of like AKO steady in the sense that you're like place 11, you have a chance to really make a name for yourself. You can really get out there. The only Apex Predators, as you said, was Geek Fam. Secret Expert is the other one. So those are the only 2 high-rated teams. I mean, Epic is high, it's 8th place, but everybody else is like 9th and below. So you have a lot of that. Now, if we're looking at the teams to watch, Team Princess. This is a team that we had high hopes for. They were 3rd place at one point. They've dropped to 10th. They're there, but we expect big things even moving forward. Blacklist International, they had a monster day with 66 points in day 4, and this is, of course, a team to watch. And, of course, EWG just changing things up. This is a team that's in 9th place. They did have a decent day with 37 points in day 4. This is, again, one of those teams that has done well. They've gotten their booyahs. This is a team you need to be careful about.
Yeah, and Blacklist International most definitely needed to respond strong right after Argon MY kind of stole the show on day number 3. They didn't really want to get left behind all that too much, and they managed to catch up. They did not manage to shoot forward. You guys will be able to see the current standings in a little bit as well, so you'll see exactly what I mean, right? Because if you look at the top 3, there's barely 3 points between them.
Yeah, they're so close, and that's the thing. And we just saw a lot of movement in the last couple of days. I mean, this is a battle royale. Anyone can have their day, any given Sunday, so to speak. And we just saw kind of how things played out. Geek Fam was bouncing around in top, 1, 2, 3, Blacklist International, as well as Argon Malaysia. These are the top 3 names that you're consistently hearing. But Sorry Roar is another one that's kind of like a little bit under the radar, but they've managed to get themselves into the 4th position. They jumped up from 6th place into now 4th. This is a team to look out for in Sorry Roar.
And EWG, they scored that booyah last week on day number 4. I believe it was for the 2nd game. But, maintaining consistency has most definitely been quite an issue for the team. But it has been just enough for them to sit down comfortably in that 9th spot, right? But just as what I fear for Secret Expert, it's the exact same feelings that I have for EWG. They're not really the apex predators out there. Where they do come across a team, most of the times they kind of bag out a little bit early. They get preyed upon. And these are the teams that are mostly looking for those placement points. And a little bit of a change I want to expect, but we've kind of seen them step it up. Didn't really turn out that well, Holla.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest one, but I mean, if we're going to go back to this one, I mean, we're going to start off with a banger in the sense of Group A versus B. Geek Fam is like, haha, I'm out of the group, but I'm still playing you guys. Like, you haven't gone too far, right? We're going to continue on playing that one. Hopefully, they've learned a couple things because they had a pretty monster day themselves in day 4. They had 64 points. This is a team that is always going to be top 3, right? This is a very scary team. You got to be careful about this one. So it's going to be very interesting. Now, I'm looking forward to, again, I talked about EWG Team Princesses. They're in Group B. They're going to be in this one. Are they going to start off strong? I think they've always had slow starts, so it kind of puts a damper on the day. They really need to start strong, making sure that, hey, if the other teams haven't warmed up, we're going to make sure that we're hitting our shots, we're able to get all of those kills.
Well, and you know when Team Princess kind of, gets it going, they really can hit their stride. Even without securing the Booyah last week, they did manage to get that #1 spot because it was a massive round, right? 12 kills, and that was one of the proudest moments for Team Princess. But it's quite rare to see them performing in that manner. And of course, a fair share of luck was in that round as well. But they just need to figure out exactly how they can manipulate some of this random luck they can get for an absolute, crazy game like Battle Royale and play towards themselves, to perhaps be a little bit more patient in the early game and then get a more aggressive in the mid segment of the game. Because as they get aggressive in those final circles, Team Princess, it's not always that those find those shots, Holler.
Yeah, you're right. And being in 10th place, they're kind of vulnerable of not even making the grand finals, right? And so I think that if we're looking at this one, this is the back half of the league. There's only 4 more days left. So you need to show up. You don't have any more time to, make any sort of mistakes. You need to make sure that you're doing that. Now, if you happen to be, let's just say 9th place and below, what exactly sort of advice are you giving as, Coach AJ to these teams? Like, how are they getting better? What do they need to do better?
The way the current leaderboard is set up, 9th place and below, if all the way up to the 11th spot, AKO Steady Squad, they do have enough points to kind of maintain their spot for the time being. The ones who are in trouble, literally Duo Brady as well as Metrics, they're constantly, just battling each other for that top spot. So we are going to be seeing that switch around quite a bit, right? You cannot control the kills. You cannot control exactly how a situation will unfold in a Battle Royale, because even though you do get a jump on someone, you've got the greatest of advantage in terms of positioning. You never know when the third party is going to arrive. Even if there's no one by the horizon, the vehicles will most definitely be in play for both of these maps in here today, right? Kalahari is a different story. So it's not about those skills. It's all about the placement points. Play super duper safe. Get into the final zone. Your worst case scenario, you still bag placement points.
Okay. All right. I mean, you heard it here first. I mean, AJ's giving advice. I hope all the teams are paying attention because this is the way to win. This is the way you make sure you get those points. On the other hand, would have been like, you know what? Going all in. Anytime I hear something, I'm just going at them. But fists, I don't really care. Bat, scythe, whatever it is, I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to go at the teams and try to secure as many kills as I can. But, obviously your strategy and your advice is probably a lot more safe and probably for the sane player. I like to go a little, rogue sometimes and go a little insane and just try to get whatever I can. But, there's a reason why I'm not playing in this league, right?
But your style is very much similar to what Blacklist International as well as Geek Fam kind of bring into the competition, right? And I have to say, even Argon MY kind of showed us that, because you don't really see them hitting those high notes each and every single round. You see them really guns blazing in a couple of rounds, and then you see them bombing out a little bit early as well. So go and look at where they're at, man. They are right there at the top, right? Even with such aggressive maneuvers, they do believe in their own ability to get up there, and therefore they can be aggressive. So it really just depends on exactly how well your team can manage some of those gunfights, right? Because some of those teams, they want to be aggressive, they can be aggressive, but at the very same time, they leave their backs wide open, and it's just a little too soon in some of those rounds.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that the team you'd mentioned with just Argon, I think that there's a lot of aggression, Blacklist International as well, but those teams are mechanically sound. At the end of the day, they're able to hit their shots, and they're just stone cold killers, man. I would not want to mess with these guys. So they can go aggressive because they can rely on the mechanical skill, making sure that they carry them through those team fights and they survive, right? They take very good risk, high probability attempts. So it's a good place to be, and just really smart by those teams. And we'll probably see more of that. I think that they're not going to go away anytime soon. So, you know what I mean? Like, this is just practice for the big stage, so to speak, for those teams.
Absolutely, man. And, and here's the thing about the league right now, though. I just really cannot see all of those teams who are currently the bottom feeders of the league really stepping it up any much more than they already have. I don't know why. Every single time I try to bet on MND Die Hard, for example, they just find a way. They just find a way to bomb out a little bit too early, right? And, you know, it's just down to those micro decisions that are made out there on the battlefield. And sometimes, if you really know that you're already struggling and you cannot win some of these gunfights, you want to be avoiding them as best possible. And the best way to do that is to, as much as all of us hate this, and I know because I hated it the most when I was a kid, is to study, man. Just really study those drop sites. Just to make sure early game, you're not going to be meeting anyone, so that you at the very least have some loot on you before you get into those gunfights, Ola.
Yeah. It's all about utility. We've seen it time and time again. Grenades are probably one of the most, sought after utility that you need. And you need to make sure that you get that, because you can just basically just blow people up, especially since people are starting to huddle in corners, they get knocked down. So it's a really nice thing to have, as well as glue walls. You really need that to make sure that you have that push.
Correct.
Some sort of way to keep yourself alive, especially if you get caught on the open. We've seen that time and time again where, glue walls can save lives, right? So it's good to have. You need to continue on with all of that. So yeah, being a good scavenger, being able to hit your shots, being able to play well as a team and just kind of coordinating those things, just being able to ambush buildings. I think that's one of the biggest things that's kind of underrated, and we're seeing like a bit of a divide in terms of who's good at it and who's not. But there's so many different ways that you can improve as a Free Fire player.
Absolutely, man. I truly agree with you. Because some of these teams, they do have, certain roles within the squad itself, but not all of those roles are played to perfection, right? Sometimes you do have your sniper who's really supposed to be backing away from all of this engagement, holding a very far and potentially a high point within that situation itself, so he can give you cover no matter whatever happens in that situation. So he can, give you that suppressive fire as well. You usually see those LMG players, and you don't really want them in those front lines. You want them to back you up. But sometimes we do see the exact opposite happening. So I truly agree with you, man. They just need to perfect exactly how they storm some of the fronts of their enemies in these games. But, at times we just need to learn things the hard way. Some of the teams in here, they are not really veteran squads up here in the pro leagues. This is their opportunity to learn. And what better way to do that on the biggest map available on Free Fire? Let's just see who the teachers are in this round.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to this one. This one's going to be match 1, Group A versus B. This is going to be, the new group of death versus the semi-group of death, I think. Just the average group of death. I don't know, but nonetheless, we're in purgatory. This is a large one. I mean, there's a giant river throughout. There's just so much space that's going to be scattered about. And with this, northeastern path that the plane is taking, would you want to maybe go Mode House? It looks like New Gank are kind of making their way there now, but that seems to be a little bit of an isolated spot. Probably not the best place where you want to be.
I think GeekFam might just be able to be big winners in this round if they can respond to the situation quick, because they would have most definitely seen these players drop into Fire Brigade, right? Deborah taking on Argon MY very early on. Spark unfortunately says bye-bye, and now right behind, Cyber manages to knock Apik down onto the ground. Chill responds by getting Ash, but there's no kills coming through just yet. Deborah still in here with 3 players up on their feet, and Argon MY says goodbye very, very early on. And now those shots have been heard by Geek Fam. They have the ability to respond. What sort of Geek Fam are we going to get in here today, Holler? The passive ones or the aggressive side?
I think we've seen more and more aggression from Geek Fam. I think we'll see more, continued aggressive play from Geek Fam. But that said, Argon Malaysia getting out eliminated early. Oh my gosh, that knocks Error. Holy crap, from downtown across the bridge. Error, no errors there as he takes that one out very easily.
JC now on the ground. Error just overexposing himself up here. Oh my lord, Error! Tua now on the ground as well. Kaz will be able to come in here for the pressure from the left-hand side as well. And an EWG, what is going on? Monito right behind that huge boulder. Ipans with the pressure, and Error bags it. I believe the guy gets a quadra kill for himself. No, 3, but all the better, man.
Wow, 2 teams completely wiped out, and they did very little damage in return. This seems like an ultimate upset. This is kind of a, this is a very interesting new shakeup. I mean, we're seeing this with A and B. Like, the teams are like, hey, we're going to take as much as we can. This is a great start for Nox. And of course, what was the other team that did?
Devora.
Devora, there we go.
Yeah, I cannot agree more. Devora as well as EWG very early on, kind of, bagging it against, teams that are very, very, unfortunate in their circumstances, but they've kind of turned things around for themselves. No Escape Umbrella. Let's see exactly how much more they can bring into this match. 4 of those skill points now on their side. Geek Fam at Fire Brigade trying to... This is the aggressive side, I guess we get. They heard those gunshots. They immediately come in here to investigate. But good move coming through from the opponents here who have clearly abandoned this side.
Yeah, and it looks like Geek Fam haven't really engaged with anyone, and it looks like they're taking your strategy of just surviving, making sure they get the placement points. Yes, they saw some, they heard the gunshots, but they weren't going to actually contest, realizing that, hey, we don't really need to do anything. We don't need to push anything. Geek Fam is in a position where they're probably they're almost guaranteed in the grand finals, I would say, unless there's like some travesty that happens where they get eliminated, maybe 11th to 12th every single time from here on out, but I highly doubt that. Geek Fam are in a great spot, so they can play things safe and let things come to them. They don't need to be the aggressive and just take risky plays.
Devora now coming across the one and only No Escape, and it still looks like Geek Fam is in prime position to take advantage of yet another third party. And earlier on, they went in there to investigate Fire Brigade, but they were not lucky enough to find anyone. Now, as Devora moves on towards that zip line from Lumber Mill that will lead them straight directly towards Freedom Rumble, there's no way No Escape will not be able to spot them. Geek Fam as well. This is all going to just turn into chaos in a couple of seconds. And none of these players, I believe, are going to be bothering about the first zone that's going to be pressuring them.
Yeah, it does hardly any damage. But just to note for the viewers at home, they're looking, hey, this is a 12 teams that should be in, but it looks like there's only 11 right now. Blacklist International were actually not in this one, and they've actually just, you know what I mean? We'll probably see them later in the day, but they were just not able to show in the first game. That's kind of why we've got 11 teams thus far.
Geek Fam, No Escape right in front of them. And it looks like No Escape, even if they hold an umbrella over their head, there's no way they can keep those bullets from hitting them. And Geek Fam just positioning themselves. The question is, will No Escape umbrella now end up in a terrible situation where they have to take on 2 teams at the very same time? Because it is Geek Fam, and there's no way they will stay patient. They want to finish this off as quickly as possible and get into the next zone. So let's see exactly how this will break down.
Yeah, Zach over there just picking some mushrooms, looking a little bit like Mario, but it looks like he's going to be going into the warehouse here. He's probably going to see No Escape at some point. The teams don't really know they're there. Okay, Zach does realize that something is up. He does crouch, and he's going to take this one a little cautiously because he doesn't really know. Oh, gets a couple shots in, does a little bit of damage, obviously giving away his position, but no real actual damage. Nobody gets knocked, so it looks like No Escape are looking to... Okay, iPens does get knocked in the end.
Oh, okay, now glue wall. Kaz is right there. iPens will most definitely get picked up. Kaz getting sprayed down once again. Exact. Oh my goodness, the guts on this guy. No backup there whatsoever just yet. He doesn't care, does he?
No, you don't need to. I mean, you could just be aggressive right now because he realizes that he does have the range. He does have that advantage, so to speak. But No Escape don't want any of this. They were looking to just run away, and it looks like they're just going to tuck tail and run. Era's going to be the last one standing. Can he get away? He does get shot. He takes a little bit of damage. He should be fine, and he uses the wall to his cover, and he just kind of runs away. But the rest of Geek Fam are like bloodhounds. They're on the trail.
And now Geek Fam, they need to be careful here. Super aggressive. Devora is right behind. And yes, they are going to be able to bag the shots against No Escape umbrella. But Devora, they are hearing those shots. But look at this. They are not taking advantage at all. Geek Fam, they will be able to bag all of these kill points. Too easy for the boys.
Yeah, and they were completely running. I don't know if that was the right call. You see them chasing after you. There's really nowhere to go. Are you going to swim across? Like, you have time to get your goggles and your swim trunks on to get over there and not get shot? I don't think it's going to be possible. No Escape really paying the price there. Geek Fam only nagging or bagging 2 of them, and it looks like they're going to look and try to find the rest of them.
Devora, they could have taken advantage, but instead... they choose to keep quiet. They choose to play a steady game into the final zone before they pop off. It's my advice, so I cannot complain.
It's one of those moments where, like, oh, they see the Geek Fam getting some knocks and kills, and they're like, yeah, I don't want any part of that. I don't care if I get the advantage with third party. I'm going to let them go. I'm going to pretend to not even be in this area. Just don't breathe, guys. We're just going to hold our breath, making sure that nobody knows we're here.
And it's good that they actually decided that, right? Because Geek Fam, No Escape Umbrella made that so easy. There was no fight whatsoever. Geek Fam wasn't really getting hurt, and a 4-man Geek Fam is one that you do not want to poke and prod because they will hit you right back square in the nose, and it's not fun when they do that. Geek Fam, 2 kills in here so far. Nobody to stop them. Even Deborah spotted them. No shots whatsoever. So I guess the guys will get to the next zone.
Yeah, nobody wants to fight these guys. Rightly so. This is definitely not where you want to be. But I think G4 are okay. They draw a bead, not able to connect any of those shots. Zach has used one glue wall to keep himself at least safe for now. Uses the tree and trying to peek around Dren. Oren is looking to get in. Oh, he's doing some damage, but he's actually missing. Okay, finally gets the knock. And that's the power of Geek Fam. Just how they just swarm onto people and they focus fire on the single target.
Yeah, no doubt at all, man. And the fact of the matter is, their mechanical ability to take these long-range engagements and make it look super-duper easy, Holla. I mean, how many teams do you actually see hitting those shots when they're not a sniper?
Well, in every other team's defense, everyone seems to be just running from Geek Fam. You know what I mean? Like, if they're running away and they're not shooting any shots, it's actually pretty easy to play this game when everybody just runs from you. So as Geek Fam, they're using their aura as this fearful thing, and everybody doesn't want to mess with Geek Fam. So everybody's just running. So that's great for them. But what are the teams? Who's going to step up to Geek Fam? Somebody's going to fight back, right?
Hopefully, Freedom Rumble, as they try to find a defensive position for themselves, just turning around a couple of shots against 2 final players from the side of No Escape Umbrella. They do have to be a little bit patient and a little careful here as well, just because right behind them, Secret Expert, and just beyond that right-hand side, we spotted another team, but not so sure exactly who that is just yet. So Freedom Rumble now all of a sudden in the worst position of all.
Yeah, and this is a team that tends to be very aggressive. Freedom Rumble, like you saw No Escape, you saw Devour just running away from Geek Fam. Freedom Rumble, they don't run from anything. The only thing they run from are their chores, but in this case, they're going to be aggressive because they know how to deal with this other teams. They want to take every single fight because they're looking for kills. Freedom Rumble, this is a team that has, stumbled a bit. They went from 4th into 7th in play day 4. This is a team that really needs to get their footing back, and their footing tends to be on the aggressive side where they're able to just start killing the enemy teams.
See exactly what they can bag in here. New gang, they are absolutely fine and dandy as they move on towards, or in fact, away from Freedom Rumble. They do not want any part of this. That was the team that we kind of spotted in the corner of the minimap earlier on. Team Princess, they will not be engaging with anyone. I mean, I kind of like this, right? A lot of the teams kind of just taking that advice, playing it slow, playing it steady, just trying to get to the final zone. But, the more the number of teams in that final zone, the bigger the chaos, Holla.
Which is true. And I mean, it's going to be, the 10-minute mark. We still have 9 different teams. This is a lot that's going to happen. And you're going to see this just mad scramble at the very end. I think Geek Fam are playing it smart. They're actually on the southern tip of the island. They're not really looking to fight anybody. They're probably going to just look to third party, fourth party later on in the game. But for now, everyone else is kind of just sticking around, using what cover they can, realizing that the circles haven't, taken away too much of the territory yet. There's still a lot of room to maneuver. And as I say that, Sorry Roar right here are looking to at least skirmish with Icon. This doesn't seem like the greatest one because Donkey, I don't know if he's able to hit his shots here.
Donkey, he always hits his shots. Let's see if or not he will be able to spray them down. I mean, Donkey hits his shots as long as his opponents are fairly close to him, right? Long-range engagements, a little bit tougher for the guy, so he does need to depend on the rest of his team members. Focuses on shutting down the drone first, so information gameplay on the side of Icon is over right there. Imira has got the ability to engage long-range, but is currently behind the hut. Now finally changes position with Donkey, but does not have the bravery to take those initial gunshots. And Icon, they will choose to take that long flank over and avoid Sorry Raw altogether.
Do you agree with that play? Just completely avoiding teams?
Amen, sir. I am a huge fan of that. I mean, survival's the name of the game. It's the Battle Royale, bro. You gotta survive. I mean, taking kills is super important, but, not at the risk of losing your own life, right? And the prize pool at the grand finals is way too sweet for some of these teams to just kind of just give away due to let's just put it this way, a silly mistake.
Yeah, like a bad coin flip,
Yeah.
yeah. It's something that you want to do, but I mean, there's still plenty of time. My only concern is that when you're running away, sometimes you might be, hit from the other side where you're not seeing it, right?
Yeah.
And this is a very open map, so there's going to be some times where you just can't find that cover. You might struggle with that. So it's kind of like, okay, obviously these guys know the terrain and the map much better than I do, so they probably know which way to go. But you know what I mean? A team can come out of anywhere. They can come out of left field and just completely ambush you. So they do need to be careful. But as I say that, this is a center circle. We're going to see some fireworks coming in the next one.
Yeah, and that's why in Purgatory, you always need to have one vehicle on yourself. And the vehicle's not really a mode of transportation from one end to the other, but more of a information collector. So one of your rushes can just get into the vehicle, move on forth, get a lot of information from the compound ahead, and then give that info on whether or not the rest of the team members can proceed. And of course, the vehicle will have the speed to back away as well. So, the rushes really need to understand exactly when to engage, exactly when to collect information, when to back away. A lot of those micro decisions put together gets those teams all of these points, right? But now, as they struggle to find the center circle, Geek Fam, they do have the vehicle, but not really itching to get more information. They hear those gunshots, and they know for a fact, they look at that information table. 9 more teams still surviving in the 13th minute just means none of them can over-aggress right now.
Yeah, we saw 8 kills in, I think, the first 2 minutes of this one, and then it's pretty much been quiet ever since. I mean, nobody really wants to give it away, realizing that every placement point is so important. The monster truck being driven in. This is the Geek Fam. Look at this parade of cars that are just going in. They don't really care if they're giving it away. And Zach with the sniped out. He gets destroyed there. Freedom Rumble on point. Vegeta's been a sniper with this gun, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And now Exact just did not know what hit him. Well, it was the one and only Vegeta. And now Vegeta finding Orin as well. Vickery runs across rail quickly. And now they will be able to find the zone for themselves. So Geek Fam not too concerned about that one loss. Exact will most definitely be sad, crying himself to sleep tonight for bagging it out a little bit too early. But now Ash from the side of Devora. Cyber's going to get taken down. That guy's most definitely going to say bye-bye. But now Devora out of the competition in that 9th spot, and no escape umbrella. The duo's still surviving.
Yeah, they're still alive. I mean, somehow, some way, they've managed to do it. But Freedom Rumble, they've been turning it up. This is what I'm talking about. They're not afraid of the firefights. You just saw a lot of kills in there. I think there were just 4 in that one minute alone. So, Icon, on the other hand, playing a little bit safe. They're using elevation to their advantage, realizing that they do have a better chance if they can see everything, from the high ground. Icon, or it looks like Sorry Roar, are looking right next to him. But Geek Fam, they're already down Zach. There are 3 players left. Are Geek Fam able to kind of clutch this one out?
Well, Vegeta once again punishing a player from the side of Geek Fam. Vickery not quick enough. Vegeta with the shot, and now Vickery on the ground. Nobody's there to pick the guy up. Freedom Rumble, unfortunately, as they try to rush the rest of the players of Geek Fam. Orange very smartly plays strip mine, grabs him, and now Icon from afar. Yun almost taken down. Smart plays from Mio on the glue wall as well. Almira right in front. Sorry Rod trying to play survival, but it's that LMG that has got that one up onto Mio. Mio doesn't care. Pan in hand, tries to close the distance. Almira right in front, manages to jump right behind him. Mio over aggressive and pays a high price for it.
Oh, yeah, Geek Fam eliminated as well, but Mio's expended about 6 or 7 glue wall just to even get there, and he gets knocked. Unfortunately, not able to win that 50-50. As I say that, Icon, the rest of the team are looking to go into Sorry Roar. Yes, they're on the low ground, but this circle is becoming a problem, and it looks like Sorry Roar have the edge, and they eliminated Icon.
What a play. Donkey taking those final 2 shots. And like we talked about earlier, man, he just needs them to come a little bit closer. And good night, he says. The same way Taken takes down 2 of those players. Kenzie and Pikain on the ground. And now the finisher comes through as well. And no escape umbrella. The kill leaders of this. With just that duo still alive and kicking. Freedom Rumble right in front of them. And now no escape umbrella looking for them as well. New Gank on the other hand. With Sorry Raw right behind. Blue wall in front of them. Trying to shut down New Gang as well as Secret Expert. Shots from outside, Asip on the ground, and it looks like New Gang will get sacrificed in here as well, as 3 of those players from Secret Expert now come in to finish the job.
Oh, New Gang just in a bad spot. They're completely out in the open, and there's teams all over the place. Secret Expert, on the other hand, shots does get that one. New Gang finally eliminated. They're able to do that. But, this is one of those things where, when you're fortifying or you're trying to play safe, you cannot be caught between a rock and a hard place. And be caught between all of these teams, very difficult for New Gang to get any sort of kills, but they get eliminated 6. That's placement points, which is huge for them. Freedom Rumble, on the other hand, they're going to turn it up.
Yeah, Freedom Rumble, they shut down one player on the side of No Escape Umbrella, and now Sorry Raw eliminated the Princess. Ijatsa from across, just chipping in as well. And now Secret Expert with those shots across against two of those teams. It's gonna be Team Princess. No Escape Umbrella finally taken down by the safe zone. At the very least, he didn't give away that kill point. And now Team Princess aiming for that booyah once again. Secret Expert, they have always been playing for these placement points. Will they over-aggress? Will they find the kills? Lux with the knock on to Taken. That's a good place to start. Shots. He cannot get out of his glue wall. He will be pressured, but Haji manages to pick up Taken. And just looks like that another nade will come flying through. What a time turner, Holler!
That was insane. He keeps himself alive now, but it's going to be 3-on-3. This is going to be the end. Team Princess versus Secret Expert. Oh, but that grenade was on point. Team Princess has just turned it up, and they get your booyah. This is exactly what we needed from this team. Team Princess really needs to get back. What better way than starting off with a booyah?
Oh, and a well-deserved booyah as well, playing it really safe, keeping their heads down, not really making a lot of noise, getting into the final zone before showing exactly who is boss. Team Princess picking up the second booyah of the competition to launch themselves from the 10th spot, potentially even into the 7th place now, really threatening Freedom Rumble with their position.
Yeah, that was perfectly on point. I think the grenade, just the way that they play that one out at the very, very end, very smart, very tactical. They didn't, overstep their boundaries. They took whatever fight they could, and they were making sure that they were able to just third party and just take people away. And this is the problem, just in the fact that, you don't know where all the teams are. Purgatory is a very difficult one where things can happen. You saw 9 teams alive at, the 14-minute mark, and then all of a sudden that chaos. Everybody, you got to look everywhere, right? You got to put your head on a swivel, so to speak. You got to look around and see what you can do. And it was very difficult, but man, that's the perfect start to a day in terms of Team Princess's play.
Absolutely, man. And I'm just a little surprised that Geek Fam did not get aggressive with the two vehicles. I mean, if you have the vehicles already, why not, right? And as from what we were spotting in the match earlier on, not many of those teams were actually blessed with that. They had to move around on foot. They kept getting caught out in the open field, and they had to just expend all of their glue walls. Here comes Geek Fam strolling in, super slow with their vehicles, not really making a play, and Vegeta. Oh, Vegeta. With such tremendous snipes. Exact taken out first. The guy saw nothing coming as he sat down on that monster truck. And then later on, another player got shut down as well. Freedom Rumble truly had an eye out for Geek Fam this round.
They were on point. They were looking for them. They were hunting for them. Yeah. And the fact that, the Vegeta that you talked about, I think that was pretty much the tipping point for Geek Fam's demise. Being down to 3 players, just very difficult to, especially in the last part where you need pretty much everyone. Geek Fam are on point when they have 4, very strong and formidable. But when they've got their arm cut off with Zach going down you're kind of at a disadvantage. But we're going to go in the highlights and see exactly what we, just to kind of make sense of everything. Because this was a crazy one. I mean, we saw, Devourer here just take out Argon Malaysia just to start. It couldn't have been a better start for them. It was perfect for them. Argon Malaysia didn't even warm up. They were landing, and then all of a sudden they are in a firefight. Just a really bad spot for them to be in, especially at the beginning stage.
Yeah, and Devora, they kind of bagged the best from the situation, and it was the decision made by Devora right after that to run away from that compound. And because they made the decision, Geek Fam could not shut them down. Geek Fam, they were trying to be aggressive, and the very quick decisions out of Devora saved them their lives. And on top of that, another decision kind of saved Aurora a little bit of time and points in here as well, when they chose to not engage with Geek Fam, instead just jet out of there.
Yeah, I don't know what the call was on that one. That seems very suspect to me. I feel like, hey, if you're gonna, retreat, you don't just everybody just run and just go and just make book 4, right? You have a rear guard. You kind of make sure that somebody's gonna cover you so that your team can kind of get away or whatever it is. You take turns, retreating. In that one, it just seems like, okay, oh crap, Geek Fam are on the tail. Let's just run as fast as we could. And then you saw exactly what happened, and Geek Fam just kind of eliminated them, right?
Yeah, and it looked like they did that because they had nothing on them. And this was something that we kind of talked about, Holler. Taking those early fights, you don't have those utilities on you, because if they had any of it, you would have seen at least a couple of glue walls being popped up. And maybe it was just a situation where Deborah had just finished off against Argon MY, and they wanted to go to that next compound, running away from Geek Fam, which they did not know would come for them.
But when they went to that next compound, they did see another squad there. They couldn't loot and they had to run away into that hut, right? So it does make sense. Overall, just absolute crazy bad luck. But Team Princess doesn't care about any of that. They played placement points, and look at the number of kills, man. They got aggressive only in that final circle, and they bagged the most out of that. Secret Expert, as usual, playing placements, but this time, something very different out of them. They managed to bag a couple of kills as well, 6 as a matter of fact, with the 15 points in the second place. Freedom Rumble with the consistency overall in the competition, finally, as they continue to step things up. Third place with the 14 points. No Escape Umbrella with the fourth spot, 12 points. Sorry Bro, as well as Geek Fam with the 9 and 8 points in 5 and 6 spot.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that with Secret Expert in the sense that, like, they're not really killers. They average about, 13.75 kills a day, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that they got 6 in this one really turned it up. This is not a team of killers. But that said, Devour was, 8th place, Icon with 9th, EWG with 10th. They got eliminated early, as well as Argon Malaysia, who literally just got off the plane and just got shot, which is unfortunate for them. Blacklist International, they got a donut as well. We're hoping to see them later throughout the day. But, man, a lot of these teams, some of the teams that we talked about that really needed to step up, Team Princess, Secret Expert, Freedom Rumble, all of these teams, it's great to see them on top because these are the teams that, we thought they had a good chance going in, especially getting into the top 12 and seeing them now really starting to kind of hit their stride. I don't want to jinx it, but, this is a really great start for Team Princess.
No doubt about that at all. And what Team Princess is trying to do here, they're not aiming big. They're just trying to secure the top 12 for themselves. They don't want to be way too close to that 12th position. And as long as Team Princess just keeps up with this method of getting into that final circle and just getting jiggy with it down there, I am absolutely fine. We clearly see it working for them. And Secret Expert, they can continue being Secret Expert, right? I mean, I talk about the strategy. They are the masters of that strategy.
Yeah. No, they're very good at just staying alive. I don't know what it is. I feel like, if I'm ever in trouble or, my parents kick me out of my house and I'm homeless, I'm going to call those guys because they're going to know how to survive. They're going to figure it out. They're hopefully able to be able to just, house another one of them, just another person like myself to, maybe game with them or to help them out or whatever. But this is a team that really knows what they're doing. And I think that is really smart. And they're sticking to the strategy. Freedom Rumble tend to be killers. They tend to be aggressive. Secret Expert, on the other hand, Secret Expert at just staying alive.
Absolutely, man. And I kind of expected more from Geek Fam, but at the very same time, I understand what happened, right? Exec is probably one of their best players, and losing him in such an unfortunate situation, there's just one of two ways of how this conversation could have gone down. The first way is, alamak, Exec mati dah, and then they all became sad, which is like probably a 10%. And what 90% of the time could have happened is they all started giggling and laughing and started making fun of him for dying such a miserable death. And they all got distracted at the same time and they backed out. Because spending some time with them, it just seems like they would have done the latter.
Of course. They just seem like a jovial group. And they realize that, hey, there's a lot of pressure that's been lifted off of this team, especially since they're in that place there. And I think it's just funnier the fact that, it was a monster truck in the very beginning, right? It was like the biggest car. It has the biggest target on it. And he tried to drive it in. And it's like, how brave are you? It's brave or, are you being stupid? Like, I don't really know. In this case, it didn't really pay off very well, but I think they had a good laugh about it.
That was the quietest monster truck I have spotted in Free Fire in a while, man. It didn't rumble, it didn't roar, it just cruised in. It sounded like an electric car more like.
Yeah, which is kind of defeating the purpose. I think they really need to tune that one up. Hopefully the next time, I think they were like, oh, we'll be really quiet in this monster truck, which seems a little counterintuitive, but we're going to head into the next match. This is going to be match 2, of course, continuing on with Group A versus B. This one's going to be Bermuda. Now, this is going to be a bit of a change. Hopefully the teams have kind of, figured things out. Argon Malaysia doesn't get eliminated first because we want to see these guys get some kills later on in the day.
Oh yeah, Clock Tower, of course, as usual, Geek Fam will conquer that. Blacklist International, they are in here, so they will be taking over Peak. Missing game number 1 would have been very, very expensive for the boys. Let's see exactly how expensive in a little bit as all of these other teams try to quickly use that to their advantage and continue climbing on top. New Gang, they are not going to be too worried at all as they spread out across Kota Tua as well as Pochita.
And just one thing to note, I'm wondering if Argon Malaysia were like, hey, we can be eliminated first, take the donut because, Blacklist International's not here. Yeah, we have a 3-point lead, but we're going to give them a little bit of a handicap. We're going to make this fun. So they decided to take the donut. I'm thinking, huh? No?
No, man, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure not.
I hope not, man. I mean, that's the best way to get bitten right in the back, right? Because you cannot underestimate Blacklist International. These guys can sleep for a whole day, not participate in any of the 4 matches, and just be able to take everything back from you in the very next day and make up for those 4 lost matches with 4 crazy games. I mean, do we even need to get started as to how they were absolutely crazy on day number 4?
Yeah, they had 66 points. They had the most points of any of the teams out there. I mean, but I think they're at the same time just missing out that first one. Obviously, you're not gonna you probably won't be the highest scoring team, I would think at this point. But the fact that you're only playing 3 matches now, it's going to be very difficult to match that point total. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play. Maybe they play a little bit safer, or just maybe just competing a little bit more with Argon Malaysia more than anything else.
Yeah, for Blacklist International, one of the things that they focus on is just don't die before Geek Fam.
Yeah, that's
because it's a matter of pride. It's a matter of pride. They can get out too soon. As long as we don't die too soon, it's all fine and dandy. We'll see how things break down at the grand finals. I mean, these boys are cheeky like that. We want the firepower, but it's understandable why they don't take these league stages as seriously as some of the other teams, right? Because some of the other teams, they're aiming for the pride. They're aiming for the amount of money they can score from the prize pool. But teams like Geek Fam, Blacklist International, they don't really want to have the targets painted on their backs just yet. They don't really want people, scrutinizing way too much of their strategy early on in the competition.
And actually, just to take note of, Geek Fam scored 8 points in that last match. They actually springboard into the first place. They overcome Argon Malaysia and Blacklist International. They're the top team right now. This is something you need to be careful. But as I say that, Team Princess in a bit of a skirmish with no escape umbrella right there. And they seem to be the victors thus far with netting themselves 2 kills.
Yeah, it's a great skirmish so far. Kaz going to get down onto the ground as well. Too easy. Lux doesn't even need to participate in that countdown. But, Lux shouldn't have backed away. He should have just proceeded beyond that glue wall where he was just stopped by, because there was one player there. And now, because Team Princess just made that one tiny little mistake in the form of Lux, they are going to let their team, the opponents get away without wiping them out. But that's all fair. That's all fine. 3 kill points, better than none. Devora, on the other hand, kind of staking out Icon. Icon, just 2 of their players now stuck in front of Devora. And that's terrible.
Yeah, look at that wall. They're both peeking on the edge. They're just trying to, taunt the other team. Just try to make sure that they don't make the first move, get themselves a little bit, isolated or exposed. Excuse me. But that grenade is going to be a little off the mark. Oren, on the other hand, going to use these boxes to his advantage. But Icon, with some nice hits there, does get a kill on Azish.
Oh, man, 04, backed up from afar. And this is exactly what we're talking about, right? When you have a certain role within your team, how do you use these roles? Do you take the front stage action just to show off that you can get a couple of kills? Or do you, as the sniper, do you, as the long-range engager, back away and give your team that backup and respect the roles of each individual player, right? That's something that Geek Fam does really, really well. And you see them just controlling this compound. They're not losing these players, but in fact, they are actually pressuring Secret Expert to back away now. And that's exactly what you get. And it's not just from looking at the fact that, oh, goodness me, it's Geek Fam taking these shots against this. It's the way they have positioned themselves on that map for Secret Expert to truly understand, if we continue this fight, there's just no stepping forward. Devora now continuing against Icon. Yun on the ground. Neki shuts down Man, and it looks like it's going to be all over for Icon. But as I say that, Mio out of nowhere drops Jim Queez, and the rest of the Devora squad drops in. Icon back down. Jim Queez will get picked right back up. Dr. Neki as well as Cyber, they save their squad.
All right, Icon was on the balcony. He was just peeking over, probably having, a nice little, coffee to himself. And he saw that he was going to get ambushed there. And he literally threw up the glue wall, but the glue wall wasn't blocking the doorway. And the enemy team just swarmed him and just completely caught him out. So placement of glue wall, very important for any sort of skirmish, especially in terms of just keeping yourself alive. That team just a little bit of bad luck, but they did get caught off guard.
Geek Fam. And now, as they stalk Haji and squad, Exact not really completing his scouting rounds around the container. Misses Pak Haji. Good hiding skills from Pak Haji on the other hand. The guy stays quiet, not really, trigger happy as he might have got shut down by Exact. Everybody knows exactly how to boogie with Geek Fam. You just don't. You stay silent, you wait for them to get out of your compound, and then you continue your journey on. But look, this is the thing. I really like how Secret Expert is taking survival to the next level, man.
Yeah, but they're completely spread around. Geek Fam are right in the middle of all of them. As I say, that Freedom Rumble, nice knock on Jakis. It looks like they're going to continue on. They're trying to go up the glue wall. They're going to go look to just ambush in. They're going ham. Too fast. GG gets the nice knock on Devour on Cyber, though. That's going to start things off. Knock him down. We'll get the kill later. We'll clean him up. But it looks like D4R, they're looking to just continue to fight this one. This is a very close quarter ambush. Very difficult to fight in this build.
Yeah, Freedom Rumble, another team that really knows how to play each individual role differently, right? Too Fast is never the guy that's rushing into the buildings first. Too Fast is always the guy that, initiates that engagement. How? With those grenades. But this time round, they knew that this compound was going to be a little bit more difficult to take. But now, let's put that on pause as Sorry Raw takes this engagement against Argon MY. A double nade from Spark as he backs away. Jan will be spotted. Argon MY trying to take that flank. Pedro will be able to catch him. Pulls out the glue wall just so he doesn't get shut down. Pedro, he has got the shotgun in hand. Has to toss out that nade as well. A little premature. A lot of those trees being used as cover. Pedro now out in the open. He can do that because Spark is there for the cover as well. And Roy Bro, what a smart play with the time turner. But a 2-on-1 situation will put him down onto the ground as well. And Argon MY, they're finishing off Sorry Raw way too easily here.
I mean, they're trying to do what they can. They're actually picking up their teammate here, but the glue walls are going to be on point. Sorry, Roy does get eliminated in the Argon Malaysia. As you said, they were very tactical on that one. Just how they took the different angles. Yes, there were glue walls galore, but they went from both sides at some points to just kind of counter them. And they were completely caught off guard. Argon Malaysia really showing them why they're a top 3 team.
EWG sneaking on in. They heard the shots, man. They were a little happy feet running straight on towards Argon MY, but now they've slowed down. They know that the fight is over. The kill feed has most definitely updated that one team has gotten taken out of the equation already. They know exactly who's in front, but Blacklist International, as you spot them, tries to get away from the team members of New Gang. Shots fired at each other. New Gang's not going to be able to secure this kill from afar, and they back away. Thankfully, they've got a lot of this terrain to continue working with.
Yeah, they're going to hide to the other side of the hill right here. They're going to use, just chill out. They've got 3 players left. Yes, they've lost Asif very early in this one, so they need to just really pick their battles carefully. They're going to use the underside of the hill, make sure that they just kind of flank around, keep themselves alive. As I say that, Argon Malaysia still very close to, to EWG. EWG doesn't really want to take advantage of what I thought was a slight advantage, at least in terms of life and all. You just had a fight that just happened.
Oh my. Now, EWG not aggressing, New Gang will take the initiative because as they try to flank in, avoiding the players of Blacklist International, they just gonna come across each other. Pak Haji finally down onto the ground. Secret Expert not gonna be able to save Pak Haji. Jetsa should be able to secure this kill. Jimmy Neo, don't need that grenade. Jimmy Neo tells him as Lux will get that kill on his side. 4 kills in this round so far for Team Princess.
Man, Team Princess, this is looking like a completely different team. They've really stepped it up. They really looked at last weekend. Something what happened. I don't know if it was just, just bad luck or the team wasn't really gelling very well, but they've kind of figured something out, at least for today. I'm really liking the positive play that we're seeing. They've got a decent amount of kills. I think they have at least 10 kills already in today, which is, pretty sizable considering they only average 16 kills in an entire day.
There is one player from the side of EWG, I believe, right behind, but New Gang taking the straightforward approach. Shoots down Monito. Monito, on the other hand, gonna respond with a nade, cooks it up. Drex right in front. No glue walls being pulled up just yet. Pikayan just pulling a couple of those shots towards himself as well. As a New Gang now, they back away from this engagement. They do not feel like they are confident enough to kind of take this fight against EWG. They have to heal themselves up a little bit first. They know that Blacklist International is on that right-hand side. And now the drone approaching their situation as well. Not so sure exactly who put that up into the air. But they will be backing away. they do not want to drop any more points.
Yeah, it's the only thing they have is the slope of the mountain, and there's actually no cover here. So this is not a great spot for a new gank. They need to reposition themselves. I like that play as they look to go in. Secret Expert, on the other hand, this is the way they survive. They decide to swim. So it looks like Taken is just going to chill out here all the way at the edge of the circle, realizing he doesn't need to do anything silly. I mean, for anybody to be like, to be peering into the ocean at this point, probably not the smartest play. You probably think that almost all the players are on land at some point. So Secret Expert there, I think, will be fine, at least in terms of placement points. Fikri trying to just lay out some shots. Hopefully you get a little bit lucky, but I think they're going to just back off here. Giving away their position is probably not their best idea.
Argon MY finds EWG. They're not going to be too happy with that. Passive plays all around, and then finally they just lose one player out of nowhere. Team Princess, on the other hand, will have the opportunity to meet Team Geek Fam in a couple of seconds, exact with the cross. And now Team Princess, they can take advantage here, but they haven't done so quickly enough. And now the backup from the rest of that Geek Fam team might just arrive. Exact crosses once again. No advantage taken by Team Princess. But Exact's just being so cheeky, isn't he? Just trying to bait all of those shots out.
Yeah, you don't need to be out. I think Zach is making a smart play. Yes, he's the scout. He's the forward one. Just kind of, wow. Figure is just looking to get some shots in, does some damage, but no knocks as of yet. But Team Princess, very spread out. If someone does get knocked, they're going to be completely isolated.
This guy, sharpshooter, MVP, Fikri, does so much of pressure. Lux! What a headshot, my god! The accuracy of this monstrous sniper. And now Jimmy Neo right in front. Ejatsa with the glue walls play. Very smart. Orange just cooking up that nade. Waiting for Jimmy Neo. Too fast from the back. And it's going to be New Gang just dropping in front of the players of Freedom Rumble. New Gang eliminated by Freedom Rumble. Orange continuing all of this pressure with those nades. And Team Princess, they cannot make this approach. Danger zone from the back as well. Going to be pressuring them in. Oh my lord, luck is really not on their side.
Yeah, but Geek Fam have decided to go aggressive. Team Princess are kind of stuck in. They might actually get third party. They do need to be careful. They're going to look to just try to rush in onto Team Princess because they have nowhere else to go. As I say that, they do kill Jimmy Neal. This is a great start for Geek Fam.
Oh, Ijatser shut down by Mano4 as well, looking for Alpha from afar. And now both of them backing away behind those glue walls. Lux will get taken down. Oh, too easy of a shutdown for Geek Fam. And this time, they are most definitely on fire.
This is why Geek Fam are the top dogs. You know, they completely surgically removed Team Princess from the state of this map. I mean, they really had no choice. Team Princess were super defensive. They were hiding behind the blue walls. But that grenade, a little off point. Freedom Rumble Neptune, can he actually turn this one around?
Neptune inside of the time turner. Nades coming through. Oh, too fast. He knocks down Cobra. Neptune trying to play this advantage. But one player behind him. Neptune too aggressive, but still manages to bag Ali. Phoenix down by Cloud as well. Double vectors for the play. Blacklist International has to back away. Cobra cooking up that nade, but he will not be able to do anything as Cobra gets shut down. Neptune takes that final kill. Ali on the ground. What a play by the one and only Neptune. That backup from Too Fast. Just too sweet.
Freedom Rumble with 10 kills. Nobody, yes, there was a knock by Vegeta. He did get knocked, but he did survive in the end. Error, on the other hand, decides to just swim around. But Freedom Rumble with 10 kills. That is a monster game already. And there's 6 teams left, 17 players. There's still plenty more to get into. But look at Taken and Error. They're both swimming. They're like, hey, let's just swim together, I guess.
You know, this just reminds me of my conversation with my fiance just a couple of days ago. Because, Chinese New Year is coming up. We need to travel right back to Butterworth from Kuala Lumpur. It's going to be a long drive, and everybody's driving for Chinese New Year, man. And And we were talking about this, right? It's the conversation where you think, okay, let's drive at this day, this time, because nobody else will be driving at that time. You get out, and everybody had the same thought. That was the situation out there. Both of those guys thinking nobody will be in the water swimming. GG.
Yeah, they both got killed, and Menzai from EWG just taking advantage of that one, kills him out, and two teams just eliminated that quickly. But it's down to the last four. Argon Malaysia, EWG are still in there. Now, they have been very close to one another, but they actually haven't been fighting, as I say that. But Geek Fam, they're looking to take this fight.
Oh my, Afiq could not jump up with his little feet quick enough. Spark right behind. Guy couldn't save him as well. Man, 04 shuts him down. And now Argon MY. 2 guys lost. Chill has no chill. He's jetting out of there. Pedro, although he is a super good player, close range combat, he does not want to face off against Geek Fam so early on as he backs away. But Geek Fam, they are going to close that distance. And right behind them, Freedom Rumble as well. And Exact will be able to find Pedro very, very early on. And Chill will be the last player. How is he going to survive the onslaught from Geek Fam? He will not, as Argon MY, they drop down way too easy against the Supreme Kings. But Vegeta from the back once again on Exact. He gets the drop. Can he get the kill, Holler?
I mean, that was an amazing third party. Vegeta, I mean, just out of nowhere, just sniping him, just not even giving him a chance. They didn't even have a chance to high-five one another. But as I say that, Freedom Rumble with 10 kills, Geek Fan with 10. These are the last, or the, the top 2 of the 3. They got a ton of kills. This is just a matter of, the extra placement points. It's all gravy from here on out. But, we're going to have to see how this one plays out. Freedom Rumble with a full squad. Geek Fam now down with 3, especially since Vegeta got that nice sniper shot, that headshot.
Yeah. Now, they might have managed to get that pick right back up. So Freedom Rumble, they have to hustle up a little bit more in here. Freedom Rumble, he needs to find Exec once again, because look at this, Exec as well as Orin, they go into a duo. They are pulling that flank off on the other side as well. And now the players of Geek Fam, they want revenge for what happened in that final circle earlier on. Freedom Rumble have to take this fight, but Exec doesn't spot the player behind him, and Clouds will be able to spray him down like a clown that he is with a double vectors, and Too Fast from away manages to get the triple nade. And now Freedom Rumble, the biggest winners, they back out Geek Fam. And now to take on the fight against the one and only EWG, it looks like it's going to be way too easy.
Yeah, I mean, EWG, we're just sticking around. Freedom from Clowns has been there, and EWG have been in a prime position. They've been on the low ground. Yeah, you've got the high ground, but you got to come on down, and it doesn't look like it's a great spot for Freedom Rumble. Yeah, Freedom Rumble were the victors against Geek Fam, but considering this positioning, this might be very difficult going up against EWG here.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And now we can't even see the circle now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Vegeta cannot move. Magneto, he's holding on to a crazy angle. And Vegeta, just super smart plays coming on overall for this guy. He'll be the first one to get damaged by the zone. Vegeta now running. Blue walls on the 0. Cannot survive. Freedom Rumble shut down. And Eastern Wolves gang, they back the booyah.
All right, Freedom Rumble and EWG in that one was just like a coin flip in the sense of just who's going to get luckier with the circle. EWG were that perfect spot. They got super lucky. They were on the low ground, but the thing is that they had to move there. But EWG, Manti Fall, Jay-Z, Munito, and Tua with that booyah there, very smartly played. They played it to the end. They did see the fact that Freedom Rumble and Geek Fam were going at it. They're like, we don't need to get involved until the very, very end. They played it smart, and they ended up getting they rewarded with that booyah in the end.
Yeah, Too Fast managing to turn everything around after Clown managed to get that first double vector spray, and Too Fast as usual just being that grenadier that nobody wants to come up across in that battlefield, man. I mean, you can go up against a double vector, you can go up against a shotgun and turn things around with your mechanical capability, but when a nade comes flying at you and you do not see that, bye-bye.
Yeah, it was pretty much game over at that point, right? Those grenades are completely on point. You got to be careful. It's one of those things where there's so much going on, and then like people are throwing grenades at you. Like, I don't know how you would do it, right? I would just I would just dig a foxhole, maybe just try to get lucky. In this case, the glue wall, just keep myself alive, just pray, right? It's one of those moments, but unfortunately, that happened to be that case. But Geek Fam, Freedom Rumbles, I think they're going to end up with the most points. EWG, yes, got the booyah, but it's all about kills at the end of the day. We're going to see exactly as we go in, but all of these teams, big props to them. Very exciting finish to that game.
It truly was, right? And it was the perfect situation. It was the perfect situation for Geek Fam to find a little bit of revenge. They just couldn't execute it. And now, I think, finally, they have gotten pissed off. As earlier, it was all fun and games. All right, let's go back in there. Let's make sure we don't go out too soon. But, as you get to the final zone, a team like Geek Fam almost has it programmed in here, right? That the victory most definitely is going to be theirs. They just need to make sure they go out there, settle it in their usual way. And we did see that from the aggression. Freedom Rumble, on the other hand, they were just backing off. They were like, okay, we're not going to make a move. Let's see what they do, and then we respond.
And that was the perfect solution from them. It was just one unfortunate mistake by the player of Geek Fam. I do not remember exactly which one of that player went in there for that rush onto Clown. He had the double vector on him. He had the glue wall. He also had the angle. So he clearly saw this guy running towards him. It's unfortunate for the players of Geek Fam.
Yeah. Sometimes it happens, right? And you think that you like there's so many glue walls. It's hard to find out where you need it. Intel is king at the end of the day, and just being able to see where the enemy is and just getting shot in the back eventual. But we're gonna go to the round highlights, and this is a very entertaining game. We saw it from the beginning. Team Princess had a decent number of kills as well, but D4R, this is gonna be one of the initial skirmishes here, and Jimquez tries to glue wall himself onto this balcony here, but you see there's a tiny little space. And they just walk right in there. D4R not doing a great job on this one. But I think Icon does get eliminated in the end.
And Deborah, although they thought they managed to bag a lot from that, just when they were about to get happy, this is our round. They were pumping each other up. Freedom Rumble came in there, shut them down a little too quick. And this is where Too Fast once again shows his prowess, right? Stays outside of the battle, throws those nades in, helps his team members out. It was just way too quick of a wipe down. And of course, across the screen, it was Argon MY taking on Sorry Raw. And in this battle, it just looked like Sorry Raw would be able to turn things around. But Argon MY, it was just those quick responses with those glue walls as well as Time Turner, just focusing on picking up their team members and at the very same time holding off their opponents. I don't know how they do that, Holla.
Oh, they're so good. Look at, this one right here. Geek Fam, that was one of the most impressive, 4-on-4 action that I've seen, right? The fact that they were shooting from the buildings. Team Princess, they were not in the worst spot. Yes, they had some glue walls and they were kind of out in the open, but Geek Fam, just how surgical they were just able to just eliminate them there. And Freedom Rumble, this is another team that has turned it up to 11. Like, they've been completely on point, taking as many kills as possible. This is the Freedom Rumble that I've known from, in the past. And it's good to see them back into it, because this is a team that needs to be this aggressive team, because they need they're the ones that turn it up, and it's very difficult to deal with, especially if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, and we saw exactly what happened to Blacklist International, a supreme team when it comes to mechanical skills. They know their positioning out there on the battlefield really well. They were being pressured. They backed away. They kind of had a compound. They just did not have the momentum on them. Freedom Rumble just kept it coming right back to back to back. And it was Too Fast, man. Although he missed that first nade throw, he quickly recovered. The pace of throwing those grenades, something that I really cannot figure out how some of these players actually get it done. Too Fast as well. It's something that I talked about on the Free Fire Challenges Philippines as well. Because when I have that nade in the game, I have to first position myself, get my angle, pull that grenade out, hold that grenade button so that the trajectory, view comes out. So I can easily, and by that time I'm dead. Right? and this guy, he's just tossing them out like he's Santa Claus, just giving presents out to every single kid that he comes by. And he is so accurate in each and every single one of those tosses, Holla.
From what I know, when you see these, like, the mobile players play, they're like octopus, you know what I mean? In the sense that, like, they use all of their fingers and they're like almost like a piano in that sense. I'm just using my two thumbs, I don't have the time to to rotate and to get the grenade like in the perfect trajectory. It's very difficult, and that's why, I'm not very good at this game. I have many things that I can learn myself.
Crazy stuff that these guys, kind of show us out there, and so much of skill on display by not just one single individual within the squad. Freedom Rumble, they really managed to bag a lot of respect from these two rounds, but it is also Geek Fam who kind of, went in there looking for a little bit of revenge, and they showed us that when they really look for that final zone, they can find it. But what they cannot find now is the consistency. As all of these other teams start to step it up in the competition, you can see even Secret Expert starting to find kills now. Teams like Geek Fam and Blacklist International, they're struggling for the first time, Holla.
Yeah. I think it was it was the first game, and I always call that one the warm-up one. And Blacklist International were not able to participate in that one. And I think that you saw just like, hey, they were not ready. This is kind of they were caught a little off guard. And maybe it was the fact that they thought they were Group C and they were playing later or whatever it was. Maybe that's kind of what I'm just making excuses. I have no idea, but it just seems to make sense, because this is a team that was not really warmed up, and we're seeing that. You've lost 2 matches already. Now we're going to go into the next set of matches. Now, at what point have you woken up?
And, they will be able to answer that very question. But Group A, a majority of them, a majority of the Titans, so-called, will be taking a rest. Teams like Geek Fam, specifically Geek Fam, now is their true test, right? To see exactly how far can they go. Because I call them the apex predators within Group B and C, because although we do have Secret Expert quite high up on the leaderboard, Secret Expert's really not the kind of team you have to be scared of when you kind of come across them on the battlefield, because Secret Expert's just thinking survive, final zone. If you don't shoot them, they're gonna be like, thank you, bro. I'm gonna take a leave now. I'll see you later. Maybe we can meet up later on and talk about this in the final zone. But Geek Fam, they are not that sort, right? And now 2 rounds back to back, someone's managed to piss them off. Freedom Rumble, very specifically. They want some revenge now, Holla.
Yeah. They're going to want it. But the thing is that they're not going to be able to take it out on Freedom Rumble, considering the fact that matchup has ended. They're going to take it out on everyone else, which is a little unfortunate for them because, Geek Fam, you don't want to awaken the beast. This is one of those times that we're going to see. And, if we're looking at the round standings thus far from match 2, Freedom Rumble with 23 points, 14 kills. That was a monster game for Freedom Rumble. Geek Fam, we talked highly about them. 8 points, placement points, 11 kills at the end of the day with 19. And the rest of the teams, were there any kills left over? EWG found 3 themselves. They got a booyah with 15. Argon Malaysia found 5. They ended up with 12. Team Princess with 7. Secret Expert with 7. Pretty good showing for them. Blacklist International, only a single kill, but 4 placement points, putting them with 5 points. And yes?
Bro, I'm sorry. I just skipped to the bottom, bro.
Oh, wow. 80 points. 80 points.
Looks like Blacklist International just got whooped by Daddy Free Fire. Oh my goodness. This was that spank that you just do not forget. This is the spank that you do not forget as an adult. That's all I'm going to say. 80 points in fraction on Blacklist International. Unfortunately for missing out that first match, I believe. But, sorry for cutting you off.
No. I didn't even see it. So when you said it, my jaw dropped. That was 80 points. They only scored 66 points day 4, and that was the highest of all the different teams. And you pretty much undermined yourself because of the fact that, you weren't able to show up. Obviously, compliance of rules, very, very important, and showing up is one of the least things that you needed to do. Blacklist International, this is it's a bit of a shocker for them. I don't think they're going anywhere, though they'll still be in the top 12, but this is a pretty sizable demotion for them. They're going to struggle trying to make themselves up. Now it's just a matter of, hey, this is a wake-up call. Let's not do this again. We made a mistake. Let's continue to move on and make sure that we don't do this, especially in the grand finals.
Oh, hey. Oh my lord, what is happening? Free Fire Challengers Malaysia Season 1 just got way more interesting, with Blacklist International doing everybody else a favor by putting themselves potentially in the 9th position, 10th position with that infraction points. And now, if this demotivates these boys, if this kind of just knocks down their confidence a little bit more, that's exactly what teams like Team Princess, AKO Steady Squad, Duo Barati Metrics, that's exactly what they're looking for, right? But is it going to be a story of what you guys saw in that little fun matchup that we had between Geek Fam as well as Blacklist International going up against Mr. Wagger? We tied the feet of 2 of those players. We gave them a handicap, and Blacklist International just got stronger, man. Is it going to be the same story here as well, Holla?
There's no way. Blacklist International, you saw them, just as you said, they pushed aside a penguin to win musical chairs. I don't know what that says about you as a person, right? And the fact that you could just push them aside and just take control, you know what I mean? What kind of bully are you? I don't want to see Blacklist International at the zoo. But hey, it's telling me that this is a very competitive team. They're going to want to continue to play, and they want to make sure that they're going to be in there. This is a team that's not going to die. I see that competitive edge. And, again, pushing around a penguin, if you could do that, then you're going to be competitive in Free Fire, and that's what they're here for. And I will see them in grand finals. I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah, amen, brother. Because you know what? At the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what it takes to win. And it can be against Geek Fam, Freedom Rumble, or the one and only Mr. Wagger with the big bad swagger. It doesn't matter. But now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, before we look at everything else, a quick match recap.
All right. Okay, so I mean, the last one is like okay. So I think they we saw No Escape Umbrella. They were kind of on the bottom as well. They kind of suffered with that. These are teams that really need to kind of step things up. I think Team Princess has really stepped up. They really called our our call out because we're like, hey, this is a team they had a lot of potential. They were able to continue on. I want to see more of that, and I think that this is a pretty great opportunity considering it's going to be B versus C. That's going to be coming up. Team Princess is a team that I feel is strong. They should be definitely in the top 12. It's just a matter of just gelling with the team, making sure that you're ready as you get into the later stages of this league.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I want to see exactly how can Alpha step it up once again for Team Princess. And speaking of them, they were the ones who grabbed that booyah in game number 1. Game 2 belonged to the Eastern Wolves gang. Well, they still have the opportunity in round number 3 because they both are in Group B. Group B still stays. And here's your overall leaderboards.
Oh, this is the craziest one. I'm just looking for Blacklist International, and they dropped to 10th place, right above AKO and No Escape Umbrella. But man, that has got to be a disheartening turn of events, especially, I mean, you missed like the rules are the rules. You got to follow them, right? But the thing is that let's look at the top. Geek Fam made their way to that top position. Argon Malaysia in second with 216. Freedom Rumble, yes, they were on a tear, but they're third place with 189 points. Secret Expert, on the other hand, with a 4th place, 180. Sorry Roar jumped up into the top 5. They're 174. This is pretty massive for this team. Team Princess, on the other hand, we saw these guys. They were 10th. Now they're all the way up into 6th place with 162 points. Icon 158. EWG in 8th. Epic 9th. And of course, Blacklist International, AKO steady in 11. No Escape Umbrella in 12. 2 Beardick in 13th. Metrics, New Gank, Devourer, Hero, MND, Diehard. We haven't seen all these teams, so it's not exactly fair for all of them.
Oh, yeah, man. And Devora most definitely had multiple opportunities to kind of step it up in these matches. And they did take those opportunities, especially in that game number 1. But it's just so much that they could do with them, right? Although they were able to find a couple of kills, placements, they weren't really lucky overall. But let's focus in here. Blacklist International. Hello, boys. In that 10th spot. And you know what? Thank you, Garina. Thank you for the opportunity to go and meet a couple of these guys down there on that field itself, right? And the one thing that I found out, Holler, that on the battlefield, these guys loggerheads, they do not want each other to get even 1 point more than the other. But out there, in the real world, they're all really good friends, right? And I can bet you right now, there's a phone call, there's a video call between the boys of Geek Fam and Blacklist International, and they're just laughing at them. And that's the best motivation, man. That is the best motivation, because if there's any reason why Geek Fam and Blacklist International, why they've been able to float up at the top so long, is because they motivate each other to continuously go out there and just absolutely slay, right? Let's see what sort of motivation this will give them in that match 5 and 6.
Yeah, it's going to be nothing but fuel for the fire. This is a team that's going to continue to play. Yes, things are a little bit riskier for them, and they're in a kind of an awkward position, but here's the MVP. This is from Freedom Rumble. We saw 2FastGG just tear it up. 8 kills, 6 assists, 2,117 damage, and a 40% hit rate, which is pretty commendable on his own right there. But 2Fast, we saw this guy. He had a ton of grenade plays, just very aggressive when he needed to be. He was cleaning it up. But 2FastGG, this is why Freedom Rumble are looking to be in the top 5.
This is one of my most favorite players in the whole of Free Fire Challengers Malaysia Season 1, no doubt at all. 2FastGG, the absolute MVP. He deserves it. He's been deserving this title for quite a while. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad that he's picking it up on day number 5, and I want to see him pick this up even more for himself. Overall, Freedom Rumble, they really have done themselves a huge favor so far in the competition, and now they've managed to climb up to that 3rd spot already. They're most definitely on a good trajectory now, Holler.
That's great. It's great to see them, and I love aggressive teams being rewarded for their play, right? I'm sick of the Secret Expert. Yeah, you're great at surviving and hiding in a little cubby hole, but 3-year-olds are very good at that too, right? The hide and seek game. So in this case, I want to see some kills. I want to see what's going on, and Freedom Rumble really just they really like connect with me in the sense of I want to be aggressive. I want to see more of that, and I love their play.
I absolutely agree with you. And Freedom Rumble, they're not too far away from that number one spot, but it's just a issue where they can't seem to beat Geek Fam or Argon MY when it comes to the consistency, right? In fact, they are finding it a little bit harder to beat Geek Fam in comparison with Argon MY, because Argon MY, they just had that growth spurt, bloop, and all of a sudden they just shot from the 10th position, the 8th, 11th spot, all the way up, right? And now they're just holding on to their momentum. Freedom Rumble, on the other hand, they kind of enjoyed their time at the top. They dropped little by little over the days, and now they're finally starting their climb right back up. Hopefully they can maintain their momentum this time around.
All right, well, this one's going to be purgatory. This one's going to be B versus C. All of the Group A teams like Argon Malaysia, Blacklist International, Freedom Rumble, Icon, No Escape Umbrella, Sorry Roar are going to take a little bit of a break as we get in and invite the new squad, which is going to be Group C, 2 Bardic, AKO Steady Squad, Epic Hero Metrics, and MND Diehard. They're going to be back in this one. We haven't seen them since last week, and they're going to continue on and go up against Group B. We've talked a lot about Geek Fam. We've talked a lot about Secret Expert. These are probably the top two. I mean, rightly so. They're both, top 5 teams, very commendable in that sense. But EWG, Team Princess, these are teams that have been on the rise. They've played 2 very good games thus far. This is going to be match 3. It's going to be Group B versus C, and we're going to go into a bit of a drop here. And if you're looking at this one, Epic already dropping into the Moat House a little bit, straight off the bat. New Gank are going to be right next to them, so they do need to be a little bit careful. But, this Moat House, yeah, it seems great. Yes, there's a lot of, water protecting you, but you got to be careful because of the fact that the circle could be literally anywhere else and you might be in trouble.
Let's see exactly what they've got planned out in here. As Secret Expert, they focus on spreading out. I don't really think that might just be the best idea for them, Holler. But Metrics, with a very close proximity with Team Princess here, that just seems to be the best opportunity for Team Princess now to continue their momentum up. But Devora, this time around, they kind of flared a little bit too close to the Team Geek Fam. And this was a similar setup earlier on as well. The only difference, Argon MY was present. Devora bagged them out of Fire Brigade and then ran away from Geek Fam. This time around, Fire Brigade fully under the control of Devora. Geek Fam not over-aggressing as well, but it's just a matter of time. Because earlier on, we saw Geek Fam move in towards Fire Brigade, but it could be because they heard those gunshots. This time round, will they be pulling off that maneuver as well? Or will we see a straightforward attempt from them to just cross that body of water? Now, Devora, I believe they have managed to, unfortunately, show themselves to Geek Fam. They will now have to run away from their compound. But from across, of course, as luck would have it, Eastern Wolves Gang will be sitting down, waiting for them. Munito got out in the open. Goodness knows what this guy is doing here. And he better be backing away as quickly as his feet can carry him. One vehicle from the back. And it looks like it's in the hands of Devora. So Devora has got the mobility now out there on the battlefield, which is just perfect for them to get away from a potentially rampaging Geek Fam, I expect, out within this round number 3.
So yeah, I mean, EWG Monito just continue to just get as much utility as they can. Again, it's all about the late game, making sure that you've got utility, you've got your grenades, your glue walls, and all that. D4, on the other hand, take it a little bit slow, realizing that, yeah, we can just kind of loop things. We don't need to go a little bit crazy. But look at Geek Fam just in the corner. Ash, I think, is trying to see where Geek Fam go, and maybe they look for an ambush here.
Yeah, and I don't think this was the right decision by Ash as he sits down in here. Jim Quez as well as Neki have been spotted as well. It's not by Geek Fam. It's by the players of the one and only Eastern Wolves Gang, the team that picked up the Booyah in that previous round, but did not manage to pick up that number 1 spot because they were way too passive with their play. They didn't really take those kills. I'm fine. I like that. But now Monito, with the pressure from the right-hand side, guy gets shot at, does not know who's taking those spot shots. It could just be Geek Fam.
Oh, this is a nice little cubby hole, keeping himself alive as long as there's no grenades nearby. But he's going to be fine for now. EWG, on their hand, they're looking around. They do see Geek Fam are within the vicinity. Are they going to become the predators or the prey?
Yeah, and it'll all depend on exactly how this setup is. And look at Devora, man. Devora just says, bye-bye. You guys deal with them. We are backing away. Similar to what they did earlier on as well. And wasn't it EWG that kind of got shut down by GeekFam as Devora abandoned their position?
I think they might. Yeah. I mean, in this case, yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to use the vending machine on the other hand, but Manito's going to just get his at least his soft drinks. He should be running around, but I think they're not going to really engage, and they don't really want to take this fight into Geek Fam and just make their way north, which is going to be in the heartland of this circle.
Yeah, and I don't know what Ash is doing, but now EWG, they actually find Jimqueeze from the side of Devora, shutting him down a little bit too quickly, a little bit too early there. And now GeekFam from afar, shots coming through. Devora, they want some revenge, but as they look for revenge, GeekFam, they continue to close that distance. And now Eastern Wolfsgang, it doesn't matter whether or not Devora fire back, they need to continue moving.
Yeah, they got to get out of the open. They need to continue moving. Geek Fam are just shooting them like fish in a barrel. Jay-Z gets knocked in here. Vicker's on the prowl. He smells blood in the waters, and he wants more. He's going to peek around, and he's going to try to make sure that he doesn't get ambushed, but he does need to be careful on his flanks.
Now, even as he maintains his patience, taking the shots up from a little bit of cover here, he cannot get over aggressive. GeekFam, yes, they are pissed, but they want to play this carefully. Finally, the boys are focusing in here. And the more respect they pay to all of their opponents, the more they will be able to bag. Just the way Oren has managed to get that back stab. Jay's now on the ground. Oren looking for Manchai as well. My lord, was that a grenade launcher that came flying towards him?
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, but it looks like Geek Fam, they're going to pick up Mano 4 right there. Vickers continuing to run around. He wants the ultimate flank, and he does. He draws a beat on Bonito, but not able to connect on all of his shots. Bonito is somehow still alive. As I say that, EGWG get eliminated. Geek Fam coming in like a bunch of vultures from all different angles, and they just clean them up.
Devora, you nasty, sly little guy. My goodness. Second time round now, they traded out EWG for their own lives. I do not know how they figured. Look, Ash should have gotten caught first, man. The guy was just sitting down in the little hut. Yeah, but trigger discipline, you got to give him that, right? He had the trigger discipline. He didn't really over-aggress. And Ash finally now going to catch up with the rest of Devora. Yes, Devora did lose Jimqueeze in that whole engagement, but once again, they sacrificed Eastern Wolfsgang to GeekFam, and they survive.
Yeah, I think that's the smart play, I think. It's so weird. You're sacrificing another team to Geek Fam just so that you can stay alive. It seems like you're, it just sounds wrong. But nonetheless, they did do that. Geek Fam are on top. This is why they're the top dogs. You got to put some respect on that name. But if we're looking at the rest of them, everybody else is kind of spread around. Hero is all the way in the west. They don't want any part of this. They just, they're looking for placement points. I want to talk more about Hero. I want to talk about metrics and, MND Die Hard, because I feel like these are teams that really need to look to stay alive. They need to go to your strategy, AJ, of just making sure that they do stick around and maybe get in the top 8 or so placement points.
Yeah, I mean, look at how much, teams like EWG has been able to bag out of that, right? And we also saw Secret Expert earlier on playing placements, but with a little bit of a difference. I don't know whether it's the aggression that they brought out from themselves or they were just forced to take some of these engagements. But after a long, long time, Secret Expert started killing people. They got 6 kills, I believe, in that match number 1. Whether we can expect such a consistency out of this team, that I just don't know, right? Because they have just been hyper-focused on those placement points. And, Ola, you've said it once, if it's not broken, why go ahead and fix it? And I'm afraid they're not going to start fixing that. But, if you don't fix it, you're not going to be able to bag a lot from the grand finals.
Yeah. And at some point you need to, okay, I'm okay with your strategy of just making sure that you've got points just to make it into top 12. But at some point, especially when you're talking about grand finals, your team needs to be prepped up and able to make the kills. They're able to hit their shots. They're able to do that because that's the only way you're going to win in the grand finals, right? So you need think of this as like preparation for that huge test, which happens to be, the grand finals of, this league, right? They need to ensure that they're ready and able to do that.
Hero now. First game of the day as part of Group C. They are quite happy with that. I guess they were quite pleased watching some of these other teams go in there, warm up a little bit first, see some of their mistakes, and hopefully try to not make it themselves. But I don't know in what world, chasing after the safe zone, swimming across is a great idea. I think they kind of need to step it up, maybe just be a few feet in front of the safe zone next time, a few seconds in front of the clock as well.
Yeah, for the record, nobody's behind them. Hero, they haven't seen anyone. They've only seen each other. I think that they've taken, social distancing to the extreme, especially with the other teams involved. They don't want to mess with anybody. But they've got past at least the first circle, which does literally no damage. But they're in the circle now, and the second one is going to be a bit bigger, obviously, or the bit smaller, excuse me. But it's going to be in the campsite area, something that they're going to need to focus on. And Hero, at some point, will eventually walk into AKO. AKO might be gatekeeping, so they might need to be careful moving ahead.
Epic has got an opportunity to move in, probably clear out Duo Barade first if they just make a beeline from the ski lodge all the way down into Forge. But it just seems like they are playing possum right out there, just waiting for that zone to start pressuring them in. Maybe move as slow as Hero moved earlier on. Hopefully that just doesn't put them in an unfortunate situation. The Team Princess earlier on, they were quite close to Metrics, but no engagements at all. New Gang moving into that mini-map area as well. And the Metrics most definitely going to start firing off already. New Gang in a prime position to take advantage of this, but it will just be that one player that just drives the course, and he just almost hit down. Metrics wanted to take advantage, could not, and that blue wall does manage to get shut down, but he just is already backing away from there, cooking up that nade. Riven gonna be in a lot of trouble.
Oh, Kobe!
Oh, smart.
Grenade! Oh, it's gonna miss. He's gonna be fine for now, but Riven is he's in the watchtower. Everybody knows where he is. Team Princess are there. Yes, New Gang just literally just did a drive-by, but as I say that, Secret Expert on the other hand are picking off members of New Gang.
Yeah, it's all about the timing on the time turn. A guy manages to pull it out at the very right moment, but unfortunately now, the Team Metrics, they're gonna have one player down on the ground. Mocha gets picked right back up. Ijat now down. AKO out of nowhere. Metrics now trying to finish off Team Princess. AKO Ajimbu knocks down Jimmy Neo, sticking their noses where it doesn't belong and helping Metrics out all at the very same time.
Yeah, and they're just trying to, I mean, teams have been patient up until this moment, right? They hear the gunfight. People are just, fighting all over the place. Team Princess are probably in the worst spot, all the way in the side. They're kind of isolated. They're going to throw up some blue walls just to keep themselves alive, but they're trying to run away. Lux does get knocked. Rise on the trail, but he's so low himself. He runs and he hides, and he does get knocked as well.
And now they should have paid attention. I mean, AKO was helping them out because your enemy is my enemy, brother man. But now when you are out there all in the open, you are my enemy too. AKO with that knock, they are not able to find the kill. But now they are holding on to the edge of that zone. Metrics able to get out of that sticky situation thanks to the one and only AKO. And now that is the next battle that we can look forward to.
So, Team Princess, I complimented them early, and then all of a sudden they have a dud of a game like this one, right? They didn't really get a lot of kills. Placement points is going to be really rough for them, getting 0 on that one. But Hero, with his snipe shot, MND kind of in trouble.
Yeah, Mels just went flying towards the glue wall, but he died at the same time as well, at the very least knocked down. But the zone should be putting him out of commission. Atong going to save the guy. Will he be able to hold up against the zone? Atong gets taken down by Eman-GG's nade, and now Atong will die along together with Mugs. Trixie trying to be the difference maker, tries to pick up Atong. Will another nade take Trixie out as well? Eman manages to score the kill. Atong taken down by that zone, and Trixie will be able to survive. Hero needs to back away in towards that safe zone as well. And MND diehard, it looks like they will continue to stay at the very bottom of the leaderboard.
Yeah, just in a really bad spot. They weren't in the circle. Hero played that one perfectly. They got themselves to the edge, realizing that, hey, what are you going to do? Are you going to try to make your way to the circle? Not going to be possible. They had to just stay there, and they're eventually, going to whittle away. Hero just on point. Eman-GG with that grenade, and just securing those kills. But they got 2 themselves, so this is a really good position for Hero. As I say that, it looks like they're going to lock heads with AKO.
AKO once again, this time Hero taking that first shot against them. Now they know exactly who they face off against, but they are not deterred at all. And now a nade response coming through. Vanix taking a lot of that shot. Rainbow out in the open, manages to get hit down by Ajimbu. Ajimbu secures that kill as well. Eman-GG drops that beat, tries to get the boost in speed, but Zero really managing the edge of that glue wall, and he plays the game of survival. Hero, Eman-GG now under attack. Nade! And Vanix! What a time turner!
That was insane. The timing on that one, they saw the grenade, it was going to be a problem, but this is going to be the part where they try to ambush around. AKO are looking to use this, but AKO, Ajib does get the knock onto Rezel, and Zero as well onto Vanix. It looks like it's going to be very bad, but Iman GG is the hero thus far. He's got a triple kill. He's going to run into the circle. He does get knocked and eliminated in the end, but that was a valiant effort by hero Iman GG.
And what he did was he took out the Apex Predator of AKO, which is the one and only Mr. D. And without the in-game leader, AKO, they hit like a very, very, very soft towel. Very soft and fluffy towel, as a matter of fact. I feel like cuddling one right now. Geek Fam finding the players of Devora. Finally, that nade will come flying through. Orin trying to finish things off. And yes, there will be a player in the name of Neki. Needs to get picked up. Orin doesn't care. Sends another nade in there to finish the job. One final surviving player on the side of Devora, just evading all of that Geek Fam shots. And it looks like Metric's going to show up out of nowhere, but he gets knocked down as well. A little too soon for the guy. And it looks like Ribbon says bye-bye.
Yeah, Metrics thought they could get the jump on that one, but Geek Fam just completely on point. They were not really damaged. They were willing to take that fight. But as I say that, 2 Berdic looking to just kind of skirmish here, and it looks like they're going to run into Epic. Epic, on the other hand, are looking to just run at them. Glue walls are going to be used to glory. A grenade, I think that was going to be a little off the mark. Crown 86 is going to look to run around, just reload, make sure that he's safe. But 2 Berdic are looking to protect this warehouse to their advantage.
Smart play by Akims, and I love the movement coming out of him. And Ziga making one mistake. What a drop down. And now Akims looking for another. Akims shuts down Kepa. What a play. And now Dua Barade. There's Ziga out as well with that grenade. Epic shut down by Dua Barade. This has been one of the most interesting engagements so far. And look, Crown 86, the guy throws a nade like me, right? Super slow, had to back away from that situation. But Akims, he stood his ground and took everything else. And like we kind of speculated earlier on, without Mr. D, AKO not going to hit hard at all. They back out of the competition as well, right back to the lobby.
Yeah, and Secret Expert, great spot. They're in the circle. They're pretty much gatekeeping. They do know that there are people around, but they might get flanked themselves. This is the problem with the glue walls. It's only one side. As I say that, Geek Fam are on the other end. They do need to be careful. Geek Fam are in a great spot in the center of the circle. They're looking to just continue fighting on and just getting all of the kills and just cleaning it up. Secret Expert, on the other hand, only 2 kills. They're trying to take out New Gank, but it looks like they will eventually get 4.
Yeah, Nate now coming through. Drax, manages to back away. Glue wall right in front of the tree. And now, Pahaji getting that slay. New Gang taken out of commission as well. Metric still playing the game of survival. The one final player not making any noise whatsoever. Secret Expert just trying to get into that final circle along with Dua Barade. And now the ones who are most primed to pick up this booyah, of course, the one and only Geek Fam. But Secret Expert, can they turn things around on them? Can they actually aggress upon the rest of the players, especially Geek Fam, and secure a aggressive booyah for once?
Oh my gosh, I don't know if you saw that, but Man04 just literally drove a car into them, but he gets knocked for his troubles, a little isolated on that side, and putting them in a bad spot, but Geek Fam still has 10 kills. MTX, on the other hand, he's been eliminated 3rd, and it looks like Secret Expert versus Geek Fam for the final 2.
Oh, this is the dream come true for Secret Expert. They've shut down Man04 already, and now Exec with a lot of pressure. They are out in the open, but we have to also remember the edge of the current zone held on by Secret Expert. They need to move on now to the center of this circle. Nade coming flying through. Oh, Secret Expert! All taken down with a grenade launcher. Orin, what a shot!
Geek Fam completely on point. Orin with 6 kills, he had 2,000 damage. Mind you, in 2 matches, I think the previous MVP had only 2,100 damage, but he got it in this single game. Vicker, Zach, Aki, Man04, and Oren with that one. But again, that grenade launcher in the end, look at them dancing. Look at how happy they are, because that was legit. This is the Geek Fam team we know. They are formidable. They may dance. Please feel free to do so when you're the top dog.
See, you think the dance is for the camera. I'm telling you, that dance was for Blacklist International. They just dancing, oh, you boys too soon. You guys got taken out way too soon. We're just climbing right on top. You know what? Blacklist International, they're getting teased a lot. Let's see exactly what they can bring back in here for matches 5 and 6, where Geek Fam is no longer in there, right? So Geek Fam can do a lot of the trash talking right now. They can go in and bag a lot for themselves. I mean, they are the speculated, aggressive Apex Predators when the Group B versus C comes into play, and it looks like they're just living up to that title.
Yeah, they didn't. I mean, they just seemed like a step up. No other team were really able to compete with them. I think obviously with the A versus B matches that we saw earlier, Geek Fam didn't really have this good of a showing. But this one, no team wanted to deal with them. Every team was running away from them. I mean, it's very easy to hit people when they're literally running away from you, right? And not looking to just get into a gunfight. So, I think the aura of Geek Fam is there. People are starting to realize that they are scared. But who's gonna step up? I thought Secret Expert are in a great spot. They need to be that guy. They need to be the king killer.
Yeah, but I think Secret Expert really needs to learn from Geek Fam with their strategy of play. What Geek Fam does is they go into that buddy system, they split off into 2 duos, right? And they take that flank. And usually that is the situation. But this time, I believe one of those players on the side of Geek Fam, Man04 specifically, ran out to play that flank a little bit too early, leaving 3 players altogether. And that's where Man04 made that initial mistake. But if the players of Secret Expert had done the same thing, gone into a split, that one grenade launcher wouldn't have been able to secure that booyah so quickly, man. They might have been able to pick up 1 or 2 extra kills before getting taken down. So these are the kind of adjustments that we expect out of the team in the future. Because getting into the final circle, it's something that they're very good at. But managing those fights, that's where they start to struggle, however.
Yeah. I mean, these are things that you can tweak, right? Obviously, this is, it's one of those things where we're blessed to have these league days because you can sometimes you can try new strats, you can try new things, and obviously you're playing against some of the top teams in the country, right? So this is a great opportunity to make sure that to see if these strategies work as you move on into Challengers Malaysia. There's going to be a lot more opportunities to see if they can get better.
Yeah, and overall, it just seemed like Geek Fam, they most definitely got pissed off in the first 2 rounds. They wanted more, they couldn't get it, and they thought, okay, you know what, there's just no holding back anymore. And they were super pumped up, right? How can you not perform after your nemesis gets taken out all the way down to the 10th spot? Geek Fam with the supreme #1 position, 26 points, the 14 crazy kills in match number 3. Secret Expert right behind them, but I love this, man. I love this. Secret Expert, my salute, my respect. I absolutely love what they are doing right now. This was the team mainly surviving on placements. We begged them over and over again to start looking for kills. Look at that consistency coming through, Holla.
Yeah, it seems to be that's been their biggest adjustment, right? Just getting more kills. They've been more aggressive. And that's why they, previously placement points have been like 4th or 5th. But if you're able to get to like 6 kills and to maybe secure one of those other teams as you get in, obviously you're a step up, in terms of ranking, right? Placement points, very important. And they're doing a much better job. And this is, again, why they're going to be in the top 5, probably by the end of the day. Metrics, on the other hand, this is a big shout out to them. They were, 12th place right now, or 13th place now. This 12 points is actually going to springboard them up. We're going to find out where they are. But to Berdick, this is 11 points. Very strong showing by them. AKO Legend, or AKO Steady Squad with 9 points. Hero with 6. New Gank with 6 as well. They got a lot of placement points. No kills, though. But Epic got 5. Devourer with 3. EWG with 1. Eliminated early. MND Diehard as well as Team Princess.
Yeah. Team Princess, unfortunately, couldn't just find that momentum in themselves anymore. Kind of, flattened out a little bit too early. But, I just want to focus on teams like Secret Expert as well as Duo Barade because of their momentum climbing up, right? Duo Barade, they continue what they were bringing in here from last week, and they want to play those placement points. They're doing it super well. Metrics pulling that off equally as good. But that's most of what they can look for, what they should look for, especially when they go up against Group A. But this is Group B. This is their opportunity to go out there and test exactly what they're made of against the other squads, or pretty much, equally ranked, against them when it comes to those mechanical capabilities. You might be unlucky to find Geek Fam out there, but the bigger probability is just finding these skills.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. I think they need to be a little bit more aggressive now, knowing that the skill level might be a little bit less a little bit. You might have more opportunities, right? You might.
We don't have to be scared to say it, man. The leaderboard says it.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to be nice to everybody. That's just. But nonetheless, it's one of those moments where you pick your opportunities, right? Maybe you become the bully. If there are a whole bunch of people being bullied, maybe you become the bully, right?
Amen, sir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on that note, we're going to take a quick short break. When we come back, let's see whether or not Group C steps it up.
up the glue walls, just trying to stay stay alive. They pick each other off, but Vicker just knocks him back down again. You get back up, and he's gonna knock you down. Geek Fam not giving them any spaces. Freedom Rumble are stuck under this bridge. So the flank that is, but nobody's died yet, which is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, if Cobra gets caught right now, he's most definitely gonna die because the guy has got no more glue walls on him. Cloud's taking the fight up. Oh, Vegeta! Sorry, Raw. Donkey now holding on to an angle. Won't be able to spray down. No build. Cannot take the kill just yet. Here comes Gas for the backup, but Gas gets sprayed down as well by the one and only Donkey. Error comes through. One guy from the top. High fence now going in for the shot, but it's a 2-on-1 situation. Imira with the backup, and it just looks like no escape. Umbrella will not be able to escape. Sorry, Raw.
Now you don't. Like, you had a hard time just even drawing a beat on this guy, but no, look at that ambush from Shark just jumping in from the roof. Gave him no chance.
Yeah, Blaze just not turning around in time. Shark now right in front, but the shot guard of Error. Ooh, and Shark backs away in the nick of time, and the double vectors. But Metrix now overcoming this situation really quick. Mocha with a shotgun. Pikai down on the ground, taking a 2-on-1 situation. Perhaps a little bit of distraction will do Gamora a lot of good. Cyber with the game of survival, but it would be Secret Expert that nails the final one.
Kepantasan, ketakasan dan kepintaran adalah syarat untuk memenangi cabaran ini. Siapakah yang
Back to Free Fire Challengers Malaysia, not to go all Katy Perry, but it really seems like Team Princess is sometimes they're hot and then they're cold. But AJ, what are your thoughts on Team Princess?
You know, they can blow hot and cold, but Team Princess, they just need to make sure that they are hot enough to make it into the top 12 and just stay there. So making it in, they seem to have done quite a good job. As a matter of fact, they've managed to launch themselves into that 6th spot. And I think that's quite great in terms of performance. And all they need to do right now is just maintain. Don't fall away too far. One rough match is not really going to decide your whole run in the competition. As a matter of fact, overall, they've done quite all right? So just find that momentum right back again, play placement points, and just be the prettiest team out there. And I think they should be able to score another booyah as well, because we have to remember the one dangerous team is Geek Fam. The one team that almost always gets to the final zone and, you know, not really do much Secret Expert. But Team Princess, they play possum sometimes, right? This is the time where they can finally set up confidently.
Yeah, and they're kind of a bit of a mixed bag in terms of strategy that we've seen. They're not always aggressive when they need to be. They're not always, looking for placement points in that sense.
Yeah.
But, I think that at the same time, this is kind of why you're seeing this team be a little inconsistent at times. They haven't really been able to do that. Now, we're going to go into the final match of Group B versus C. This one's going to be Bermuda, and we're going to be into that one. Now, this is going to be the last game for Team Princess, and the rest of Group B. So this might be the last time we talk about Geek Fam, but who from I would say Group B would need to step up in this final match?
It might not be the last time you speak about Geek Fam, depending on how well they do here, because for all you know, they might just do so well that nobody might be able to touch them until the end. But of course, Argon MY is there. It all depends on whether they can bring in the consistency, right? But the one team that I really am looking a lot from is, I think you've already talked about them, it's Team Princess. Secret Expert, they've got that consistency, but it is Team Princess that's slowly climbing up, right? Let's see if they can continue that climb up, maybe just slot themselves into that 3rd spot before things kind of die down, because they are just about 20 odd points away.
Yeah, they're very close. I mean, this is a big shakeup. I think the whole mantra of Free Fire and the Challengers Malaysia has been expect the unexpected. And to be honest, today was a lot of unexpected moments. So the fact that we're here now, look at New Gank. They're going to look to get into a quick skirmish with AKO. I don't even think they have guns.
Okay, and now Mr. D over-aggressive. Hopefully he does not bag the negative side of this. And now trying to pull that flank. Kenzie has found a weapon on him already. Mr. D has to be really careful. Kenzie responds. Mr. D, 163 HP. Mr. D over-aggressive once again. Gets knocked down, shut down. And New Gang punishes the leader of AKO. And you know what happens when the king goes down, when the leader goes down. And now Moon trying to step it up. Can he recover? Can he now pull something back for the mistake of his captain? Drags on the ground. Moon gets it. Ajimbu hits behind as well. This is what you get for taking our leader down. And New Gang, they face the wrath of AKO.
Yeah, Mr. 0769 was just, by himself with a gun. He wasn't able to kill them, but it looks like New Gang ran into the building and did this, and all of them are paying the price, the sin, so to speak, and it looks like AKO are looking to turn this one up. But as I say that, Zero does get knocked here. Kenzie's still knocked as well. They're going to clean him up later because they realize that they need to get the last guy who's running for his life, just trying to stay alive, and he does not get eliminated yet. New Gang somehow still in this one.
I don't know lah, Mr. D. What are we going to do about this situation, bro?
We gotta run.
I don't know, man. Mr. D, he's facing a terrible batch in the competition so far. Not just today, but since the whole of the Free Fire Challenges Malaysia kind of kicked off. And AKO, just as a squad, hasn't really been able to find their momentum. Mr. D especially hasn't really been able to find the shots like he used to in the past, right? This guy used to be one of the most feared Free Fire players out of Malaysia, and now he's fallen quite far away from that place of glory where he used to be. But it's not something that they have to really take to heart. They most definitely can take note of this and make sure, at the very least, they make it to the grand finals. One day of showing up is all they need. But now, with their current performance, even maintaining the top 12 seems to be a challenge.
Yeah, it's not going to be the easiest thing. And this is the thing about the teams. The teams are getting better. Like, we've seen a lot of the teams just really step it up. It's been very difficult to be very consistent throughout. I mean, this is a battle royale. You have 4 different players. Teams are constantly practicing. They're getting better. So you need to ensure that you continue your upward growth in terms of just, your play style, your skills, things that you need to be improving, right? You need to be watching your replays, understanding what you're doing wrong, because that's the only way you're going to get better. The other teams are doing their research. You need to do as well.
Yeah, and now AKO very close to Secret Expert. Bima Sakti Strip, they take over. And they will find a little bit of loot in here as well. Secret Expert, as usual, the moment they get notice that there is an approaching team, they say, all right, catch you later, alligator, and they back away. They just want to play the zone.
Yeah, they should be fine. But look at how far Epic are, MND, EWG, all of these teams on the eastern side. When that circle's on the west, that's going to be a little scary. I think that there's going to be a bridge there and there's going to be some water. But Hero, I don't know if they're going to be trolls under that bridge and make it difficult for EWG to make its way over. But we're going to have to find out, considering the fact that Geek Fam so close. They will probably pounce on Hero if Hero decide to play Gatekeeper.
Yeah, regular rotation from the clock tower into factory by Geek Fam. Hero over at Pochinok, they will not pose as a threat to Geek Fam. And Geek Fam, even if they do get disturbed by Hero, not going to be thinking too much of it. It's just probably free meal for them. So it's all about exactly how Hero catches them if they want to take those initial shots, right? We have seen Hero kind of, get into questionable situations with a zero trigger discipline, trigger happy at times where they shouldn't be. But at the very moment, it looks like they are just keeping their heads down. And Geek Fam actually flanking all the way outside towards Mars Electric. I wonder what's the ideation here. Are they just looking for more loot to prepare for the biggest battle of the day? Or are they actually spotting out Hero and going in for the long flank to catch them off guard?
Maybe they're using them as bait. Realizing that, we don't, like, if other teams decide to hunt Hero, then Geek Fam can maybe look to just, take out one of the stronger teams, so to speak. I mean, it might be just one of those plays, or they might not have seen Hero. Maybe Geek Fam, they tend to play a little bit passively, especially early, making sure that they do get those placement points. But as I say that, Fall does get the nice little knock onto Xia there from MND.
And MND diehard, every time I see them getting knocked down on the ground, I start praying for them immediately, because those guys haven't really been able to find a play at all. And look at Miles. Miles is miles away from the rest of his team members.
MND, I mean...
Dude, you should have laughed at the joke. That was a good one.
No, it was a good joke. I'm sorry. I was just so engrossed. I was...
miles away. Come on, bro.
No, I was thinking of like MND Die Hard. They're looking like MND Die Easy, but you okay. Your joke was much better than mine. Sorry.
Do running away, and let's see if or not Big Brothers AKO can say something about this. AKO undernumbered, undermanned, the leader of the squad not in here to call those shots as well, and Dua Barade really securing a great position up on top this hill, just playing the terrain to their advantage, not really just sticking to to that one small spot where a couple of nades can just put them out of commission. And now, look at this, Duo Barati, as all of the shots they took against AKO fall in, there was a knock off screen. Metrics, I believe, had one. Oh no, Jimmy Neo got knocked down and then taken out. And Team Princess, they hurt really early.
Yeah, they're playing Gatekeeper here. Ejester, this is a great opportunity. Metrics are not in the circle. Yes, this is the first one. They're taking minimal damage, but Ejester maybe gets a little bit of a, a pick off, maybe gets lucky, but to be honest, the weird thing is I don't know where the rest of Team Princess is. Oh, it looks like he's just going to Ejester away. Huh? I'll show myself. I'll show myself.
Guy catches up with the rest of the team members. That's where they are. Ejected themselves out towards Catalystiwa. Let's see if or not they will be able to survive a little bit longer. And without Jimmy Neo, they will be able to continue playing. And Team Princess, they just won't be able to be super aggressive, right? So they just need to buckle down and keep their hits down as much as possible. Hero coming across AKO. This is a much better fight for AKO, although they are outnumbered. Hero is not really a super aggressive team in the competition.
Yeah, definitely not. And I mean, more than anything else, it's just kind of on the back of Eman. Not to, Rembo does his kills as well, but this is a team that pretty much they need to make sure that Eman is able to secure those kills, because he's probably your, quote unquote all-star on that team. We've seen the highlights all throughout this league, but it's one of those moments where Hero as a team, they haven't really found their groove, so to speak. It seems like sometimes they pull off this miracle play and they're able to just win it out, but it's kind of, again, on the back of Eman. They haven't really been able to do things as a team very well.
Yeah, and Eman really is a super strong player, right? And I pity Hero because there's a strong probability they're going to lose Eman GG if the rest of their players just don't step up. And Eman's just going to get poached by a bigger brand, and he will have that opportunity to continue shining within a squad that can most definitely support the kind of firepower that he brings out here onto the field, right? Because the guy has just stood in those solo versus duo, solo versus trios situations many a times before, and he has really proven himself. So it's high time the rest of those team members kind of just step up and catch up with the guy as well.
Yeah, he's completely on point. I think I think that the other teams are going to look his way, right? He's been very impressive. So just something to take note of. And this is why you might be on the bottom, but you could still make a name for yourself. You can make sure that, people recognize you and fear you, right? How many team fights where he was literally by himself and just trying to clutch things out, almost able to do it in multiple situations?
And Geek Fam, let's see if or not they can grab a lot here. I mean, it's their final match. They were quite annoyed that in the first two games they didn't get what they exactly wanted. And they also have to kind of push as far as possible because they know for a fact Argon MY is going to be aiming for quite a bit later on. And there's just really not too many points between them. As a matter of fact, there's just 11 points, between Argon MY as well as Geekfam. So there's not a lot of catching up to do for Argon.
Yeah, I mean, it's so neck and neck, right? I think that's going to be the biggest thing. They're not going to go away. The fact that Argon Malaysia are still yet to play those last two games, we're going to hopefully see them, put off some fireworks and make it very competitive with Geek Fam, who are, we saw them last time in the victory dances. They're very proud of what they're doing, and they're kind of finding that groove. They're a team that's very positive and just kind of emitting that positivity and able to hit their shots. It's going to continue to snowball.
Deborah. Let's hope they can find those shots onto Team Princess this time. And Ijatsa, they're a little spread out as Team Princess, they see the shots coming through from the side of Deborah, finally deciding to fire back. Will be Dua Barade against Epic. Epic now at the very edge of the zone closing in. Gonna be forcing Epic directly towards Dua Barade, and instead what Epic chooses to do is run straight out of the zone the opposite way. They rather deal with that than the shots coming through from Dua Barade. Dua Barade not gonna be able to find a knock just yet, but they focus
focus in all of their shots, and Epic really smartly playing the advantage of the terrain, the slope right in front, but it's just a matter of time before they are forced to continue on forward by the safe zone, and as they do, Akim's now on the ground, but Kimi will be able to find Kepa. Kimi shuts him down. Akim's right back onto his feet. Kimi trying to secure another kill for himself. Oh my lord, but Coco, I don't know where that shot came from, but that was sweet.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. Kimi was on point with the gatekeeping, but he just got knocked out. He thought he was the aggressor, but when you're wide out in the open, you got to be careful. Kimi does get that kill on the Ziga. That's going to be a good one. And Crown 86 looking to peek around. He's got to be careful. Make sure that the last two members of Epic do pay for their sins.
Let's see those shots. Asian, they've got a building to cover. Dubarati not going to be able to secure any more kills. But they also have to make sure they manage the zone on their own. And as they move on in, Devora right in front. So both Epic as well as Dubarati in a lot of trouble now. Devora, they cannot over-aggress as well because right behind them in Bima Sakti, there's another squad. But we just don't know who they are just yet. Information cannot be played because the team's just being a little too elusive. Coco, shots from afar, will be able to find ground. Ooh, one more shot should be able to do it. But now Coco, 165 HP, does not risk it. Backs away just for the time being. Crown not stepping out as well. He knows exactly what Coco has in store for him, and he wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's not going to be... He's not going to want to take that fight. Especially, he's completely outgunned right here. But MND right now, they're looking to just at least stay alive for now. EWG on the prowl. They're looking around, running around. Trixie is like, I don't know where to go. Do I just stake around? He's going to just try to pick this corner. Keeps a glue wall, just keeping himself alive, at least for now.
Drops the beat as well to recover some HP, and he will need that speed boost. But now, a solo versus trios, and the glue wall taken down as well. Nade flying towards him. Trixie running out to the open. Nothing much he can do, but finds a dumpster that he can hide behind. And potentially Miles can give him some cover. But now Miles tries to reposition himself while Trixie provides cover. What a play by MND Diehard. I did not expect this sort of ideation, but as I say that, the guy makes the biggest mistake running in front of the trash can where they will most definitely be able to shoot him down, and Miles just runs away.
All right, Trixie there made it easy for EWG to kill him and to place the body in that dumpster. So I guess that was a little bit of convenience for them. But as I say, that secret expert, on the other hand, just kind of picking people off from afar, doing a decent amount of damage. But Coco on point with his sniper, man. I don't know how many kills he has, but he's definitely gotten a lot of knocks today.
Oh, Coco actually taking that kill on Crown 86. And you know, Epic, they were just minding their own business. They didn't want to pick a fight with anyone, and they were aggressed upon first. And this is just Epic firing back and telling them that they are not to be trifled with. And now another shot, Coco will miss that, and it will be the zone forcing Epic in once again. Team Princess will be the ones firing back at them, and that's exactly what you get when you start those shots. Asian knocked down onto the ground. Coco can't do anything, allows the zone to take him out. Asian skill goes to Ijaz. Team Princess bags the most out of that encounter.
Yeah, Tubertic eliminated there into 10th, or sorry, 11th. New Gank now 10th. Both in bad spots, but AKO, are they able to do this? Some decent grenades. They look to be on, at least in the general area, but Hero are there, still 4-man strong. M&D Malls is on the other side. Literally went miles for this, and he's all the way in the back, but he's just going to kind of just drive by, not really just get into any sort of fight, and let AKO and Hero just sort things out.
Lux with the shots from afar. Ooh, manages to take down that glue wall, but Neki just pulls it right back up, and he needs to be careful. Did Cyber climb up into a tree?
I think he did, or he tried to at least. But Secret Expert running away.
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can, yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just the elevation of that screen. How did he get in the tree? Is this a bug? No, the guy's just behind the tree. Lux now, knocked down. Ijatser trying to play those glue walls. Will be able to survive for the time being, but shots from the back. Ijatser doesn't have an opportunity anymore, but he still makes his way in. Team Princess, one final survivor left in here, but Ijatser stuck with his own glue wall. Cannot aggress on forward. Devora closing the distance from the back. Ijatser finally fires back. What a shot! Buys himself a little bit of time. So much of pressure. He should be able to get that kill for himself. What a play by Ijat.
Yeah, he's that was a nice knock, but he's by himself. Secret Expert, on the other hand, are kind of sandwiching him. Devourer need to run because of the circle. This grenade could do some work. Okay, a little bit of damage more than anything else. But Ejetzer, he does see Neki right next to him. He's gonna hug the circle here. He's gonna try to peek around. He's gonna look to engage him. He's gonna look to go, and Team Prince is finally eliminated in 8.
Yeah, 2-on-1 situation, and now it's AKO's turn. 0 on the ground. AKO continuing. Kimbu, what a shot. And AKO will survive for the time being. But Oren, out of nowhere, Geek Fam, they're coming in here to shut down. And Devora taken out of the equation. Moon, the one and only final player, but he has to go up against the whole of Geek Fam. Moon now pulls out the glue wall. Oren, but the backstab is here. Oren with the pressure. AKO shut down. Exact is the one and only guy. He needs a shotgun and your face, and you are gone. Secret Expert surviving like the survivors that they are. Once again, getting into that final zone. Geek Fam in here, full squad as well. They have managed to find a few of those kills, but they are playing like Secret Expert, taking a page out of their book. Metrics just ignored by both of these squads, not in the safe zone just yet. But as they try to come through, I don't think they're going to be able to make it if they do not allow these guys to start the fight first.
Yeah, they're 4 strong as well, which is pretty commendable at this stage. There's 3 different teams. Metrics are still around with 4 as well. So, I mean, all 3 teams, full squad. Man04 takes a little bit of damage there from Riven with a nice grenade. But what are they going to do? I think they're going to let both of the other teams, Secret Expert and Geek Fam, duke it out first before Metrics decide to go in.
Yeah, and they're doing a great job here. Troop now on the ground thanks to a trip mine set up by the one and only Man04. Man04 shut down by Taken. Secret Expert! Secret Expert shuts down Geek Fam! And now they need to take out Metrics as well. But Ibnu down on the ground. Mocha taking a lot of those shots and serving it up to Secret Expert to eat up. Metrics might be able to secure this booyah now. They've got the numbers on their side. Mocha will be able to spot the player out. Glue Wall's not able to help him. Mocha 2-on-1 situation. Help is there for him to shut down. Secret Expert taken out, and Metrics secure the booyah.
So smart. Let Geek Fam and Secret Expert just duke it out, and then Metrics were there to clean it all up. And they realized that they had a huge advantage there, especially with being up 2, and they went aggressive. Very well played by Mocha, Fies, Riven, Troop, and Rai there. Super smart play by Metrics. This is exactly what we needed to see from this team, right? Metrics, they're 13th place, or at least at the start of the day, but we're going to have to see. This is a sizable game for them in terms of just momentum, make sure they got a decent number of kills. This is really going to help Metrics and put themselves in the, at least, hopefully, in the top 12 for the grand finals.
Well, then, congratulations, Metrics, on your very first booyah of the competition. Hopefully, that's enough to launch them into their top 12, and they will be able to bring on similar plays, similar smart plays, I have to say, to maintain their run in the competition, right? Because it was a position where they just needed to shut up, not do anything, and just let the rest handle the business out there. Secret Expert taking the fight up against Geek Fam. That fight had already started, but one player on the side of Geek Fam spotted out Metrics first. And this was a situation that, Geek Fam just had no control over, right? Because they had information of another squad. They had to know exactly what the team was doing. But Metrics, not over-aggressing, not really going in there looking for those early kills, pretty much did the win for themselves, as the rest of those Geek Fam players just kind of just rushed in there, allowing their own HP to get dropped. Metrics just playing the game of smarts, and that keeps them alive in the competition. Really nice to see some of these teams finally climbing up confidently, Hala.
And I think in that last match, the craziest thing was that we didn't see one team just dominate with all the kills. I think the kills are spread throughout, so everybody got their fair share of the lines, in terms of kills and all that. So it was really good for them, and I think that's very beneficial to them. B and C is a completely different dynamic from A versus B, right? But we're gonna go into the highlights here, and this is kind of where AKO, Mr. 07 thought he had a huge advantage against Nugank, but look at how wide out in the open he was. Just you let him run into the building with all the guns, and then you stayed outside. That doesn't seem like a smart thing that any killer would do.
Yeah, so Mr. D, he just is the guy who has just been there for a long, long time. And I don't know whether it's the burnout from all of the content creation, because the guy's a streamer as well, out there hours and hours and hours and hours of Free Fire. All he does is train, right? So it's just a little upsetting to see him bring in this sort of a performance into the competition. They need to figure it out for their own good, because if they don't, AKO, like I said earlier on, they're just going to continue slipping off the leaderboard. And, Mr. D, he can bring in that 769 behind his name, but if he cannot bring any points up onto the leaderboard, it's not doing his team any favors whatsoever.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of these teams, they're really running out of time, right? This is the second half of the season now. Really, I mean, you have like 3 more days after today, and some of the, Group B are done for the day. So we're going to see, this window closing, a window of opportunity. You don't really have much time. You need to make sure that you get all the kills that you can. If anything, you need to start maybe looking to change up your strategy, being a little bit more aggressive. And Metrics right here, just playing very smart even to the end.
Absolutely. And because of their smarts, they bagged the most number of kills, I believe. They should have been able to get an overall 6 kills by the end of that. Plus the Booyah, they will be able to maintain that number 1 spot with the 18 points. But you can see Secret Expert. Wow, Secret Expert. The second salute in a row you get from me for maintaining this consistency, not just with the placements, but with the kill points as well. And this time outdoing themselves with 1 extra kill. They bag 16 points. Secret Expert, most definitely a team. Now the other squads need to start fearing. AKO Steady Squad, although Mr. D bagged out quite early, it was a statement that I made that the squad really cannot stay alive and kicking out there on the battlefield fighting, but this time they wanted to prove me wrong, and prove me wrong that they do. 7 with the placement points, 5 kills, still surviving in there towards that final zone. Stellar performance overall. 12 points equaling up Geek Fam, who have that 4th spot, although they do manage to get the 3rd position overall. Just 4 kills. Did you ever imagine you would see a match where Geek Fam doesn't go crazy, Holla?
No, I did not. And that was the biggest surprise, right? I think that Geek Fam, they had what I would say, they had a skill advantage, but they didn't really take advantage of it in the sense that, like, they were not taking things aggressive. They were playing, a play out of the playbook of Secret Expert of just looking to survive, making sure that you're just stuck around, and then you got the 8 placement points because of that. But Geek Fam, I feel like you could just turn it up to 11 at any moment, right? This is one of those times where now is the time to start being aggressive. But EWG here, 5th place with 11 points. Devourer in 6th with 9. Team Princess with 6 points. Hero with 4. 2 Baradic with 2. Epic, New Gank, MND all with 2 points. So, again, these are things where if you're on the bottom, you really don't have much time. Metrics, on the other hand, this is what you need to do. You need to get those kills, and you get the Booyah, and you've got that round win in round 4. Geek Fam won the last one, and they'll be done for the day today. They've done quite well, and I believe that they have 1st place, barring what Argon Malaysia does later in rounds 5 and 6.
Yeah, we just want to see more out of teams like Metrics in the competition, securing the Booyahs, making their way up the leaderboard, because after the shuffles that we have gotten after week number 2, day 4, this is exactly what the teams have been wanting all this while. This is exactly what they get. An equal opportunity out there on the battlefield. And Geek Fam, with all of that tenacity, manages to propel themselves forward 265 points. And Argon MY in the 2nd spot, 216. But the biggest difference here is Argon MY, they still have got 2 more matches in here. But can they catch up? There's a lot between those 2 teams. And Argon MY really needs to find 2 consistent matches back to back. Secret Expert, look at these guys, man. From the 5th spot, they climbed up to the 4th, and now sitting down in the 3rd place. 211 points, and just a few behind Argon MY. Not too bad at all. Freedom Rumble, sorry, Raw in the 4th and 5th position, 189 points and 174 each. Team Princess making it up to the 6th place and staying there as well with 168 points. And EWG in that 7th place with the 167, just 1 point below Team Princess. Icon and Epic taking that 8th and 9th spot with a 158 and 149.
10th place AKO with 145. 11th place Metrics shooting up there in there with 135 points. 12th place on the brink Blacklist International with 126. 2 Baradic with 125 points. If you told me at the end of the day that they would be only 1 point from each other, I would have thought you were crazy. But No Escape Umbrella with 14th and 114 points. Devourer with 97. New Gank tied with 97 as well. And Hero and MND kind of on the bottom with 60 and 50. They need to, I don't know, they're going to have a hard time. They need to really turn it up, especially with those last 3 days and hopefully these last 2 games for today.
There's so much of drama in here, but of course, Orin just does not care. any bit about any of it, right? 8 kills, 1 assist overall, damage with the 3.3k, hit rate on the 46.5. The guy knows exactly how to find those enemies in his crosshair.
Yeah, he was just on point. I mean, getting the fact that you got 8 kills in 2 games, I'm lucky to go even, right? I'm always looking to just get 1 kill just so that I can match my own KDA, right? But the fact is that this guy got 8 kills, had an assist as well, and he's doing it with 46% hit rate. That says a lot. I don't know about you, but I am, my hit rate's probably about 15% or so, I don't know the exact number, but it's not great, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that he's hitting almost half of his shots, that is a very commendable stat right for him.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And Orin, just the guy that brings in the consistency, and Geek Fam, with all of that, they rise up to the top. 265 points once again, over 216 picked up by Argon MY. Argon MY in just 2 games need to find 49 points to match up with Geek Fam, 50 points or more to overtake them in 2 matches. Not only is it going to take a booyah, it's going to take crazy booyahs to get there.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be possible today. I think, Geek Fam are going to pat themselves on the back for a good day. And that's what you want, right? Just moving forward, just build a little bit of momentum going into the next day, right? Especially for these 2-day weekends that you have in terms of league play. But Argon Malaysia, this is one of those things where it's different because you were Group A. Now you played your first 2 games. You take a bit of a break, and now you play again, right?
Yeah.
So, do you have to warm up again? Is it going to be kind of like a slow game to start? How are you going to be? Considering the first game that they played, they were eliminated first. A little bit of a downfall for them, especially since they had the opportunity of, continuing to be the big dog, especially since Geek Fam was in that group play.
Yeah, I want to say that Argon MY will be fired up to continue, their reach for that #1 spot. But I really think it's going to be all out Blacklist International from here on in with the hustle in, man. I mean, they do not have a choice. They do not have a choice. In the 12th spot, boy, you better hustle.
Look, if Blacklist International don't make it to the grand finals, would that not be the biggest upset in all of Free Fire? That seems to be crazy to me when you're talking about aspirations of being, maybe the top dog, but top 3 minimum, and then now you're not even getting it into the grand finals?
Well,
That seems crazy to me.
yeah, I mean, it depends on who you are, whether or not you're going to be upset. If you're Geek Fam, you'll be laughing all the way to the bank, man. And of course, as we crack jokes on the expense of Blacklist International, I'm very sure they are taking it, all not to their heart, but to their head to motivate themselves to reach up to the top. But it is not about their intention. It is all about the execution. Let's see how they pull it off, because very early on, they will be finding another squad in their compound. So let's see if they can get out of that. Sorry Raw, on the other hand, will find Hero very early on. And Iman Gigi, 1 gun in his hands already, is aggressing upon Yan. Is he going to open this match up? And is Iman going to be able to give his squad the upper hand early on? Because Sorry Raw is no chump squad to be taken on.
Yeah, but sorry, Roy John right here is just going to stick around. He knows that there are people nearby. He's staying very quiet, not giving away anything. As I say that, Blacklist International, they're looking to get a little bit of engagement already. They thought the building was theirs, but Blacklist International, they need to be very strong. I'm sure they're going to be very motivated going into this one, but Freedom Rumble Clowns is going to get first blood on the other side.
Yeah, this is MND Diehard, and it's unfortunate for MND Diehard to get caught in this situation, but they just need to remember, regardless of who you take on, the numbers trumps mechanical abilities anytime, anywhere, unless you not only, unfortunately you wake up on a noob day, but the gods of RNG just are not on your side at all, right? So MND Diehard, they should be able to overcome the situation. They see one player out there, and I would personally recommend to them is jump out of the building, shoot him all at once, and that's the better idea. Don't wait for them to come to you. But as I say that, they just allow Blacklist International to lock on their doors and slice them down, gun them down, one after the other.
Well, all right. When you're need a little momentum, you found MND, and you're just kind of at least look to take at least 3 members or 2 members thus far off of MND. When they're looking to just kind of hunt the last 2, I think that will really help Blacklist International. Especially after they're somewhat of a awkward day. But they're kind of just going to continue to just loot as much utility as possible for here. But, oh, there we go. They're going to go into the high ground, and they do find a Mural does get knocked. That's going to be a little bit of a trade here. Blacklist International, are they able to turn this up? Yes. Mind as set, Die Hard, eliminated 12.
They found a Heffalump and they shot it. That's not what you do when you find a Heffalump, Blacklist International, but it's okay. I understand. They need the kill points. They took the kill points. But this is the kind of Blacklist International that all of the other teams fear. They knew it was MND Die Hard. Any other team would have rushed MND Die Hard after getting that first knock, knowing that MND Die Hard just is not the kind of team that will be able to respond very well. But it's not the usual Blacklist International we're looking at. This one is a focused one. Now we are seeing the true potential of the squad. Let's see how far they go.
Yeah. It's great momentum, right? Getting all 4 kills, this is perfect for them and in prime position. It's a huge confidence boost when you lose no one and you eliminate a team, right? And the fact that you're just one step closer to getting that elusive booyah, we're going to have to see how they play out. Now, Argon Malaysia, largely quiet today. We haven't seen them, they got a decent number of kills on, I think, match 2 or round 2 earlier today. But, this is a team that, like literally just cosplaying. They haven't really been killers.
And No Escape Umbrella, although they are not one of the most aggressive teams in the game, they've got an amazing position right now. And in fact, they've even got the zone. So Argon MY most definitely needs to come in here for the approach. And as they are doing that, they most definitely can get game capped by the players of No Escape Umbrella. So Argon MY, they have to take the tough road. They have to flank all the way across to Fire Brigade or potentially even Lumber Mill to make that long play in towards the next circle.
All right, I like the center circle on Purgatory. I think that the rivers here just make it very awkward at times, especially since maybe there's one on the river. Then, it becomes very difficult for teams to kind of navigate through that, right?
Yeah.
So to me, those are the most interesting circles when you have, a lot of the terrain elements just kind of, affecting how teams play. But as I say that this one's very central. And do you, as, if you were playing right now, are you looking to just make sure you're on the edge and just kind of, stay on the outside end of it and to gatekeep, or are you looking more to just kind of run into the middle?
Yeah, I'm most definitely a gatekeeper, man. I mean, that's exactly where you can play a little passive, but, move in towards the edge of the circle first, get into the inner circle, and then find a defensive position that you can lock down, because you need to look for those kills as you try to play safe, right? But going into the mid segment of that circle might not guarantee you a great place all the time. You don't know if or not you're moving too early, and so that's just the safer way for me. But some of these teams, they play it a little differently sometimes.
I've noticed that some of the teams just like to go in the center and then just like fortify, in some of the buildings or whatever cover they can provide. Especially if they find like good places. Now, that said, I think that most of the teams, at least in this map thus far, they tend to play more on the outside. I think that they don't really want to be flanked. And I think that teams are starting to learn that, hey, third party is like a real thing and they need to be very careful with their flanks.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of flanks, look at the flank AKO is actually pulling off against Icon. Just shutting them all down in this one small compound and making sure they have got all of those angles covered. Moon now, oh my goodness, he's getting a little too close for comfort. Nade inside. Time Turner pulled out. But now they know that Moon is right there. But Moon, he secures the knock onto Yun. Is he going to get the kill as well? New Boy's right in front. Yun, he will be able to pull out the glue wall right in front, but he will get backstabbed. Is the cover there for Moon? Moon continues with the pressure onto those grenades. And yes, the backup from Zero.
Moment where they tried to just kind of cut around. Yun and Flame were by themselves in the corner. AKO looking to turn it up. I kind of eliminated it.
I mean, that was just a smooth setup by AKO, and it was just that long flank around Quarry. They all knew, and first of all, the flank was not to get a great position for kills. The flank was mainly to get that information first. And the moment they got that confirmation that 4 players were inside of this warehouse, that's exactly when the Russia Moon, he went in there for the push with the grenades in hand, but he was not alone, right? That backup was most definitely there, and that's exactly what makes me think that they are most definitely ready to go all the way up to the top in this lobby. Let's see if they can continue to keep that momentum up.
My only concern was the amount of grenades they used, right? That's a lot of utility. Yes, they got the wipe and they did quite well in that sense, but Are you going to get more grenades? I mean, hopefully Icons, when they loot them, they're able to get more, because that was a lot of grenades. Like, it was like 4 or 5 just used by Moon alone.
And if they are able to find some on the dead bodies that they have managed to knock down right after we took our eyes off of them, good on them. But if they don't, I agree with you, man. I mean, it's just a little bit too much of those nades used up early on. Yes, you can secure those kills. Yes, you most definitely pick up those important 4 kill points, but in that final game, that setup might just get a little bit more dicey. And, the nades most definitely are needed end game more than they are early on. And they most definitely had that flank, but that is, I guess no saying how that situation could have panned out, right? Because if Moon hadn't had all of the grenades just showering down and getting that AoE damage around that area, he might have not been able to pressure them in that way, and they might have gotten way too aggressive with him. So, it's a game of balance at the end of the day when it comes to it. And it looks like they've survived for the time being. Let's see if it hurts them later as well.
Yeah. I think you said it well, in the sense of that, it was one of those things where you might as well commit to it to make sure that you get it. But hopefully it doesn't come back to kick them, the butt. So in that sense, where they're able to get more utility elsewhere, they'll just find it. But sorry, Roar, this is we've been largely quiet. They haven't really seen too much action. But with 10 teams left and we're hitting at the 9-minute mark, this is one of those moments where all of a sudden there's going to be a whole bunch of team fights that just happen, right? So you just need to be prepared. You need to make sure that you're ready. But sorry, Roar seem to be pretty lucky with the loot thus far.
Well, let's see if or not they will continue running in here with their luck, as Moon from AKO, they are in quite a great position. The zone now not going to be pressuring them at all. As a matter of fact, no other teams in front of them, and they can move on in towards that next zone undisturbed. But the biggest question, of course, from then on is going to be, are they going to cross that body of water? Because they better do that, right? There's no way that Circle's going to come to them. But as I say that, I know there is a huge probability of that. And that's the issue with just kind of going in there and focusing on that mid part of that circle all the time. Because you make your bet a little bit too early, saying that it's definitely going to go here. And then it just suckers you to make you cross all across that map.
True. But at the same time, I'm looking at, the 4 teams that are in the middle, right? Sorry, Roar, Hero, Blacklist International, No Escape, Umbrella. They're in a pretty decent spot. They have a decent amount of cover right there. They should be fine moving in. I'm worried about Argon Malaysia, who have to make all the way around just to get themselves into the circle. That's a bit of a trek, and they might, it's worrying because you might get shot from any angle.
And Metrics trying to see if or not there are any players in front of them, but they do not notice one player from the side of Dua Brade. But now, as I say that, they spot Akims and Riven. He has that information. He has that long-range engagement ability on him as well with the assault rifle, and he gives that information over to Rai. Rai, you take care of this guy with your sniper. Let me look on the other side. That's a great decision coming through from Riven, because he's much more useful against Freedom Rumble if that fight kicks off.
Yeah, very smart and just good team play, because you just have, the sniper just covering the angle, making sure that he doesn't draw a beat on you, providing that cover fire so that you can continue moving on, get yourself into the next complex, make sure that you're fine for that. But as I say this, Freedom Rumble slowly peeking around. Hero, he's got the grenade primed up. Doesn't actually connect onto anybody. Hero, it's just like, oh no, we're under attack. What do we do?
Oh, Hero, Iman GG, the one guy, he gets pushed back. Neptune now aggressive. Oh, what a spot held on by Iman, but Neptune, shotgun, turns around. 2 shots, too easy. Vanix down as well. Neptune getting a lot done in here. Looks for Rizal. Is he going to get the third one? Does not get the knock. Smart plays coming out from his opponent. They back away. Vanix doesn't find one. Inside the time turner. 2 fast knocks down Rizal. Neptune gets the last one. What a play by the squad as they wipe out their opponents way too easily. Hero,
sorry. No, I'm just so happy for Freedom Rumble. That was so clutch. Neptune, you picked it out. The fact that the guy was on the roof, he was like an owl, just being able to survey everything. Picked it off. Eman GG. He was hiding in the corner. I thought he was fine. I thought he was gonna get the jump, but man, Neptune, eagle-eyed, able to see the guy and able to stop him from just doing anything, and they completely just wiped him out.
In terms of the wipeout, Freedom Rumble, they get the job done pretty well. But they just have to remember that they have got a couple of apex predators apart from themselves in this lobby, and it is very important to maintain this pressure all the way through, right? And I did get a spot on a player there from this side of Freedom Rumble. No nades on them at all. So it's their opportunity to kind of just loot up all of those dead bodies before they continue their move in. Not too far away, they have to travel, and the zone moves in towards Argon MY as well as Blacklist International. Blacklist International, they don't have to do much at all. They just need to continuously look around and see who wants to come into their compound.
Look at how lucky Blacklist International have been, right? They're center of this next circle here. They've already got it fortified. They don't have anything to worry about aside from Argon Malaysia, yeah, being in the vicinity. But, you know, as long as they're playing it safe within the building, look at how far they are. They're able to just, you know, freely shoot them. They see the crates. They don't really have much of a chance. Argon Malaysia is just trying to loot more than anything else, but they want to be left alone. Blacklist International are like, hey, we have this giant complex, this giant building, and making it very difficult for any team to make their way into the circle.
And Blacklist spotting out Argon MY. Spark out in the open. Miro will be able to take those shots at him, but bag absolutely nothing, just scaring him away. But I believe Spark managed to hit that airdrop already, so he will be a happy, smiling player. But Chill now, just exposing the chip of his shoulder just a little bit. Miro trying to take advantage. Chill now has no chill at all. Backs away onto the next airdrop. And Miro must be absolutely frustrated, man. He's just watching all of these players run around, pick up their airdrop stuff, and he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, like it seems like his bullets are not able to travel that far or something. Mural's just like, I see the guy. Why are these bullets not working? Are they paintballs? What's going on? But Ajib, on the other hand, he's got real guns, real bullets. That is. Donkey gets knocked here. Donkey's gonna slowly bleed out. He does go down in the end. Jim, excuse me, will secure that kill.
And as they do that, Donkey out of the equation just means that Sorry Raw cannot handle a lot of those close range encounters as effectively as they could with Donkey around. So they need to focus in, keeping their opponents at bay. The way No Escape Umbrella is keeping AKO outside of the zone. iPants knocks down Mr. D. That's a great way to start an AKO. Shut down a little bit too quick. And Ajim actually stolen away by one of those Argon players.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of a combination of the circle and just dealing damage. AKO is just completely wiped out there. Mr. D just, one of them just kind of get knocked there, not giving their team really much of a chance on that one. But Nox, on the other hand, iPants is looking to just fight around as he jumps in, and he does get eliminated. Nox Umbrella will secure that one, or sorry, excuse me, will get eliminated 8.
Oh my god, Sorry Raw now. They are going to be able to pick up a ton of grenades off of these guys. And now Roy, bro, he's got one in there. Heals himself up first. Not much of the glue walls to pick up. Neptune finds Ali from Blacklist International. This is an interesting encounter. As Freedom Rumble, they pissed off Geek Fam twice. Now they're trying to piss off Blacklist International as well. What a play. Ali this time gets knocked down by Arabic. Argon MY chipping into this fight. They think that if they can third party, why not? Phoenix will be able to find the kill on Tudua Brade. This is just a fight that's just going back and forth between multiple squads.
Yeah, it's everybody and their moms have been invited to this party because it's just, you look left, you look right, it doesn't really matter. There are teams everywhere, right? And so when you think that you have an advantage, Phoenix with a nice snipe there. He's going to secure that kill. He's got this nice sniper perch. And Blacklist International, again, I talked about the fact that they were in this complex. Great spot, especially since Epic and Metrics are skirmishing right in front of them.
Yep, and now Blacklist sending the flurry of bullets, flurry of grenades together with those bullets right in front. All of this crowd, and they are not able to find anyone just yet, surprisingly. Miro cooking up yet another Asian. Ali from afar with those snipes is able to find multiple players right now under his scope, down on the ground. Miro just taking the close quarters combat straight to the faces of the Metrics players, shutting them down. 11 kills so far. Blacklist International looking for that #1 spot.
Oh my gosh, this Blacklist International team focused. You talk about they're angry more than anything else. A quad kill for Miro. Freedom Rumble are looking to just engage, get into the action here. But Blacklist International have said, this is our territory. This is my building. You dare come in here? No way. Freedom Rumble are nearby, but my gosh, this is looking to be the Blacklist International show.
Oh, yes, absolutely, sir. Now, Blacklist International with the most amount of kills out there on the battlefield so far, looking for Argon MY. Freedom Rumble trying to spot them from the right-hand side as well. Ali managing to knock down, kill one of those players before backing away. So Freedom Rumble, they're annoyed that they couldn't really find much off of Blacklist at all. Phoenix finds Skimmy, Dua Barade eliminated. And now Argon MY just continuing the move in, but they will have to meet Blacklist International face to face.
Yeah, and Argon Malaysia, I think, are going to be the only contenders, but Blacklist International have been wounded. That's Cobra down. That's a big one. Argon Malaysia still at full strength. They're looking to fight this. Ali gets knocked as well, but the grenades are all over the place.
Oh, Pedro does not get through Phoenix. Phoenix binds him down. And now Arabic as well as Pedro all on the ground. Chill, the final player left in here. Blacklist International really making quick work of all of them. And Chill, he cannot do much. So he decides to run straight towards his opponents. Is he going to be able to get anything out of this? Freedom Rumble shuts them down. Argon MY taken out as well as Freedom Rumble secures the booyah.
Blacklist International, I think, had close to 12 or 13 kills. Freedom Rumble secure 12 on their own. This is a team that has really stepped it up. It's so impressive just seeing the growth and just how much they've improved. But an impressive level right there. Vegeta just so happy, Ash as well. Look at these guys. I mean, okay, the gentleman in the top right, not so excited, but everybody else is getting their jerseys out because why not? Freedom Rumble really stepping it up. Very impressive. I thought Blacklist International were going to run away with this, especially with just how consistent they are. But, you know, when you're going into 5 or 6 straight team fights, you're going to eventually fall in the end, and Freedom Rumble were able to make them pay.
Absolutely, man. I mean, one of their players got taken down a little prematurely in there, and the second that happened, they back away from that encounter. They didn't really want to continue that fight up against Blacklist International anymore, but they kept note as to where that team is going in there traveling, right? They kept AI on that zone as well, and when push came to shove, they knew that if they did not deal with Blacklist International at that point of time, it's going to be game over. Pedro, he kind of stepped up and, you know, out of nowhere, Argon MY started that encounter against Blacklist International. That was the biggest bell ringing in the ears of Freedom Rumble. Act right now. And what a decision it was to be made. They acted, they bagged all of those kills, they stabbed them in the back. That's the exact way you get to do it with a smile in Free Fire. And they grabbed the booyah for themselves, man. Superb display of decision making coming through from Freedom Rumble, not just in this match, Holler, throughout the day.
Yeah. And again, this is a team that's just like, if you can get 12 kills in a round, that is so impressive, right?
Yes.
I think that just speaks volumes of the mechanical skill on that team. Like, it's night and day, right? This is a top-tier team. You're seeing them start to evolve. Things are starting to click for them, right? In terms of the strategy, just how, you know, systematic they can be and surgical and just ambushing buildings and everything. But we're going to see some of these highlights. And Freedom Rumble, I mean, Blacklist International started strong. We thought they were going to do well. They got very lucky with some of the circles, especially in their placements. But, you know, when you literally fight everyone, you know, you're eventually going to fall, especially with all the different teams that are there. And Freedom Rumble did make them pay, but big shout out to Blacklist International. Very impressive, and they really stepped up this game.
Yeah, great plays from AKO as well. The backup that came through from all of those players. Ajim was there. Zero was here for the backup as well. Mr. D came through for the squad as the whole of AKO took out Icon without losing a single player, managing to pick up that final one as well. And then later on, we saw Neptune with the roof skills. This guy was like Batman, just hovering up on that roof, you know, just hunting down each and every single vigilante out there. But at the very end, as he tried to grab a few more kills for himself, the rest of his team members just stepped it up on their own accord as well and helped him out, right? And Hero, in that whole process, they just stood there and they were just waiting for their time to come because they knew they couldn't do much.
That was actually one of the most impressive 4 versus 4 battles that we've seen, at least today, right? The Freedom Rumble one right there, just Neptune just jumped, getting the edge, right? I mean, this is a fortified team. They were hiding in little cubbies all over the place, and they were just able to clean them out. Nobody got knocked in the end. If that's how you're going to ambush a team, that's what you want. And Freedom Rumble really on point. Even towards this part where they're continuing to fight in, look at Freedom Rumble, just racking up those kills, just get into skirmishes with all of the different teams. Blacklist International, Story Roar as well. Just really impressive by, Freedom Rumble.
Yeah, Freedom Rumble, they kind of went in there for that first shot. Cobra got taken down. Argon MY stepped on in, and this was that breakdown earlier on, right? Blacklist taken out of the equation. It was just way too easy for Freedom Rumble to pick up the #1 spot. 12 kills, 12 placement points. That's how important that booyah is. 24 points. And yes, although Blacklist International does equalize with the number of points, they do not have the booyah, and that's the tiebreaker that's used to keep Freedom Rumble up in that #1 spot. But what an impressive 16-round bomb dropped by Blacklist International. As we expected, they are super mad, they are super pumped, and they are out here to get more. And this was the match that got out of hand. I think in the next one, they will be hitting just as hard. Argon MY in the third spot, 11 points. Sorry Raw as well as AKO Steady Squad in the fourth and fifth place with 9 and 7 points. 7 points equaled up with Epic in that sixth place. And the rest of the leaderboards wrapped up with Duo Brade, No Escape Umbrella, Metrics, Hero, Icon, as well as MND Die Hard Holler.
Yeah, when a team gets 16 kills like Blacklist International did, there were 6 teams that got nothing in terms of the kills because there's just not that many kills to go around, right? So
Yeah.
Blacklist International, as you said, angry, right? This is a team that I would not want to be playing against right now, especially in this stage. You know that they're going to be incredibly focused. They're going to want to prove themselves. We talked about the fact that they were on the brink, it being in that 12th position. This springboards them up. I think there's going to be no concerns getting into the grand finals. Obviously, the league stage is probably not going to end up where they want it to be, but again, more fuel to the fire for that grand finals. They're going to want to make all of the top teams play. Argon Malaysia, Geek Fam, they're looking for you.
Yeah, just Freedom Rumble and Blacklist International alone killed more than half this lobby. Both these teams are super hungry. And, what Blacklist International is hungry for is fighting their way back up from oblivion in that 12th spot. And what Freedom Rumble's fighting for is the #1 placing. And Argon MY, they're not too far away, but at the very same time, they want to make sure they earn enough points for themselves as well to kind of keep the distance between themselves and Freedom Rumble. But I think Freedom Rumble's doing a great job keeping the pressure up.
And to be honest, if you were talking about it going into today, Freedom Rumble was 7th place, right? We talked about Group A being the group of death with Argon Malaysia first, Blacklist International second.
Yes.
Sorry Roar was 4th. And those are 3 teams who were like, oh yeah, these teams are going to, make some waves. You got to respect them. But then Freedom Rumble coming out of the blue today, just being angry and just being, super aggressive. I love their play style. Freedom Rumble really stepped it up today.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And can they continue this momentum? Because we asked of consistency. They deliver consistency. We just want to see a little bit more from them. They are pumped up. We are pumped up to see how much they can get out of this. And you see, here's the thing. Freedom Rumble moving above Secret Expert, I see that to be zero problems, right? Because not only has Freedom Rumble been able to play the placement points, in the kills department, they do so much better than Secret Expert. But catching up with Argon MY, that is the challenge. And they need to hope and pray that Argon MY kind of bags it a little early in this round and they get up to that final circle once again as we wrap things up on the final match, final map of the day, Bermuda.
And this is going to be game 6. Round 6 is going to be A versus C. And then, as you said, Freedom Rumble, this is pretty much theirs. They've got a lot of momentum. They need to continue it on. But again, you got to look at it as baby steps. Yes, they're getting like 24-point bombs like the last game that we just saw, but you need to just consistently put yourself in there one. Argon Malaysia haven't really had a great day today. They've been okay, average more than anything else. They'll continue to be in the top 5. No issues there. And they'll continue to keep that trek going. But Freedom Rumble, this is for them to just continue moving on. There's going to be a lot of momentum going into tomorrow's day, with the league match that are going on. But this is going to be the final match for today, A versus C. Let's bring it in, and this is what's going to be into Bermuda.
If Icon cannot be that #1 team, at the very best, they can be the most hopeful team. They spread out across 3 compounds, man. And that's just a lot of bravado right there. And Duo Brade, unfortunately, right in front of AKO, a very, very annoyed AKO. After their own performance in the competition, Moon on the ground, 0 hits right back. AKO has got 1 player down, but they're not going to be too worried about that at all. They want to be hunting for this final player, Akims, who's managed to run away quite far. AKO, final player. You can see that hunt coming through. Let's see if Akims survives.
All right, this is like any horror movie, right? You see that they want him. They know where he is, and they're trying to get it. Yes, they do shoot him in the back. G makes sure and does it in style, so to speak. And he does secure that kill, but, very easy for AKO. Great start for them. It's 2 minutes in, and they're already down an entire team. So great position to be in as AKO.
Yeah, let's continue to see how AKO manages this situation, because overall in the competition, they have just been dropping rank after rank after rank. And now I guess one thing to say is they can be proud that they're quite close to Blacklist International.
Yeah, closer.
It's
I think
the wrong spot to be proud of.
Yeah, you don't want to be. All right, but sorry, Roy here. Boybird, just kind of boy bro. He's looking to just kind of keep himself alive. He's nearby with Epic, but they've only got 3 in this area. Epic have the numbers, so sorry, Roy, need to be careful here. Make sure that they don't get caught out. They don't really want to take this team fight.
Yeah, let's see. Sorry, Raw against Epic. Safe zone. Nothing for them to worry about. And the upper floor taken by Donkey. Donkey has got one of the best stats when it comes to those close range combat, and the ability for him to just suppress his enemies and give the room for the rest of the team players on his side to kind of maneuver around is quite solid. Coco going in here for the rush, not taking those ranged attacks, but now trying to close in on their opponents. Epic being forced to chase them down, and Roy Bro gets sprayed down. The shotgun more than enough for Ziga to get that knock and kill, but now Coco, he just recovers his health just a little bit before the rest of Team Epic continues their rush against Sorry Raw.
Yeah, it seemed really awkward. Sorry, were like they didn't have 4 people in the same spot, right? They were all over the place, and Epic will make them pay because they could just take you piecemeal and just do what they're doing right now, which is literally cleaning up all of Sorry Roy here. Just a really awkward, I would say, bad decision by the team to just drop all over the place.
Yeah, and it's I guess sometimes you want to take a risk by spreading out. You don't really want to be sharing the loot with your team members, but this is the risk that kind of comes along with it. And one of the ways to kind of manage the situation is look where you drop, man. I mean, you can see your opponents dropping into the same spot as well. And you can make the decision to immediately try your best to drop in as close as possible to the rest of the team members, because there's safety in numbers at the very best. But it can play against you as well if the gods of RNG just are not on your side and there's just one assault rifle in the place that you guys drop together. That's a GG.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, that's the case, right? And it looks like they're going to continue to run, just find the rest of the other ones. Epic are looking to run around, just making sure that they don't get away. These are pretty much free frags in that sense. And you just make sure that you take as many as you can get.
And they do take the 2 so far. Sorry, Roy. They obviously do not want to drop anything else as they continue to loot and back away from the situation. Epic just really thorough with their search of that area. Just moving in house to house, making sure each and every single room is cleared out. And at the very same time, not making the mistake of rushing out of their compounds into the crosshairs of Sorry Raw. This is just really interesting to see. And Epic is just being careful as they maneuver around. One of the main reasons why they have been able to be consistent to stay on the first page of the overall leaderboards.
And if you're looking at it, Epic are chasing Sorry Roar, and Sorry Roar are doing the probably the more annoying thing of just running away from the circle. So they're like, hey, you want to kill us? Fine, we'll pull you away and make things more difficult for you to get into the circle. Mind you, it's the first one. It's not going to do a lot, but it is kind of a pain.
Hey, absolutely, man. I mean, it's just like they're teasing that. Are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want these skills? I think it's that. I think it's a super smart idea. Sorry, Raw. You have my stamp of approval right there with the tactic. Just annoy them long enough until they call the search off. I think that's a good one.
Yeah. And Epic, I've kind of stopped the chase. I think they're letting the 2 go, and they're just trying to make their way into the circle. Yeah, so it did work, yeah.
Well, Icon now, Hero, probably just arriving at the place where they might just bag out the number 11 spot. They start things off against Icon. Terrible idea. Mio not hit by Iman's nade at all. Iman does have that backup, and Mio finds Vanix out in the open. Oh my lord. Vanix just sprayed down a little bit too quickly. Arabic takes that shot. And now, let's see if or not Hero can make a difference here. Into the house. Iman GG. 4 grenades in his hand. He should be able to do something.
He should, but this is so awkward. I mean, Iman knew where he was. He primed the grenade. And Icon, I don't think had any idea. Oh, nice grenade. What a sniper with these grenades. Emac cleans him up with the second one, and he runs away, realizing he's got a huge advantage. It's going to be 3-on-3, and he puts himself back into a somewhat sizable advantage.
That's Eman GG right there. And Eman once again getting it all done. New Boys this time knocked down. Eman takes that kill with the double vectors and now continues looking for the rest of the players. Look at the movement out of the guy. Avoids that nade. Anticipation. He has got every single, game awareness, map awareness that is required to play the game of survival. But Argon MY coming in to make Icon's job a little bit more difficult and to shut down Hero at the same time as well. Is this the saving grace for Hero? Is this the time where they can just be a little bit patient and then bag the most out of a third party? Because it is a fight that Icon has to start off first. Eman has to stay quiet.
Oh, man, he's got the grenade. Oh, he just got knocked again. He saw him. He heard it. He knew they were coming. Eman GG has been a sniper with these things. He's got another grenade as well, and it looks like his team, Rizel's going to clean that one up. But they're going to give the kill to Eman. This guy is on point. He is never in the same spot, holding the same angle. He's always in different places, so you have no idea where the guy is. He's literally like Batman.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And now they are looking to shut down Argon MY as well as Icon at the same time. Argon MY up top. Rizal almost down. Gets sprayed out by Pedro. And now, can we find Pedro? Rembo goes out there with a shot. Pedro just flies right back in here. Great glue wall pulled out by Rembo just to play the game of survival. Catches up with the one and only Eman. And now, the two of these guys, they will be able to play a game of survival for a little bit longer. But Spark comes out looking for Eman GG. Eman out of the game just means that Hero is just a matter of time, and they drag out the 11th spot as I anticipated, but not against Icon. It is Argon MY that punishes, and now Argon MY with the 5 kills in the bag so far, looking for that final player from Icon.
That was so awkward. Rembo there literally ran for his life, and he ran right by Eman GG and the exact path where he was hiding. So it made it very easy for Argon Malaysia to just chase after the guy and be like, oh, that's Eman GG. I'll take him out. And Eman GG was like, why would you bring them out to me, right? Like, he's looking to go for the ambush, completely caught off guard. It seems like the team was completely not on the right page.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes when you panic, you do silly stuff, man. What a nade from Phoenix. Ajim. Oh, too fast hitting a nade behind as well. Just showing that, it's not just Blacklist who get to bag stuff like this. Great time turner. They should be able to save Miro. And Miro getting picked up. Time turner goes down. What a terrible timing. No glue wall out, but a final backup time turner pulled out as well. Blacklist really playing the game of survival. Backstep now from Phoenix. Mr. D, final one against Phoenix. Here comes that melee. Time turner out. Mr. D steps on in as the champion that he is. In and out, ring around the rosy. But Phoenix just bags him with just 20 HP left.
Phoenix actually, he dropped to 4. He was slowly regenerating, but he was actually at 4. So, he won the team fight in the end, but that was so close. Freedom Rumble, on the other hand, looking to fight this one. No escape umbrella. He gets out of this one. They get eliminated. Freedom Rumble, you pick up everyone back up because you guys are fine. Freedom Rumble continuing to roll.
Yeah, unfortunate the final knock came through there a little bit too late before no escape umbrella got taken down. They could have used that upper hand with that trip mine, but that's exactly how the cookie crumbles. Cobra was the sacrifice that Blacklist International had to kind of face in here against the players of AKO, and now Moon alive and kicking. AKO has not been shut down just yet. And yes, they did lose Mr. D, but with just Moon alive in here, they should be able to play placement points, but it's not the kind of AKO that we know, right? AKO that we know, he'll be looking for these kills because he understands there's no running away from Blacklist from this compound right now.
Yeah, and I think you just got to play safe, right? I think the high ground, I don't know if Blacklist International are going to do their due diligence of just clearing this entire building, looking for this last player, Moon that is. But it looks like, I think Blacklist International will eventually make their way into the circle, especially since, it's starting to close in on them. But they're actually already in it, so they don't have anywhere to go. Maybe they will find him in the end.
Yeah, and, time's on their side, Blacklist International. They really just have to make sure they don't make any mistakes against Moon, because Moon's definitely the kind of player, the kind of killer that will be able to secure that way too easy for themselves. Argon MY now inside of the zone. Nobody there to disturb them. Freedom Rumble in a similar situation as well. Once again, Freedom Rumble, the team to look out for in this final round for sure, as they are aiming not for that #1 spot, at least not yet, but for the very least, that #2 spot. They want to steal it away from Argon MY.
Yeah, definitely. And they're going to be the target, the #1 targets for them, right? They need to keep themselves alive. I think Blacklist International, on the other hand, are like, hey, we're at a slight disadvantage. We're in the circle, yes, but we've got only 3 players. Cobra going down like in that fight with AKO. So they're not going to do anything risky. They're just going to continue to be there. X-Moon, on the other hand, just going to be, I feel like this is X-Moon is from Parasite. He's just kind of like leeching off of Blacklist International's house.
Well, let's see if or not he will be able to find those skills as well. Just like that was a movie where I just did not expect. Grenade just fell in front of him. Just did not manage to bag that. Right. Manages to knock down K-Pao, finds the kill on him as well. Metrix, what a move. Taking the fight down out now to Epic, and Epic unable to do much about this. Metrix is overrunning all of their compound, but now the safe zone is going to be pressuring the players of Metrix. Coco, grenade launcher, what a play by Coco.
He was completely on point. He just saw them and he just threw it in. Oh, he almost hit the other one. But Coco has been completely on point. You got to be super careful. This guy's like a sniper with this thing. But Metrics are like, what just happened? You know what I mean? People are getting knocked down by the play. Riven is still up for now, but that circle is going to start to do some damage. Epic are starting to make their way. Now they've got the grenades primed. That should be the end. No, he threw it on top of the roof. My friend, that was not the greatest throw.
We got that on camera, Zigga. We got that. There's no running away from that one. Coco once again pumps it out. Riven as well as Mocha. 1 shot, 2 kill. And he will be super pleased with that. But Coco now dropped onto the ground. What a play. Hot Troop gets the kill as well.
Oh, he's looking to turn this time turner, keeping him alive. Zigga jumps into it. He's looking to just fight this one. They're going in and out, and Metrix eventually eliminated Epic. Actually pulled this one out.
Oh, Coco. The one that was getting not almost, but every single thing done out there in that battle got taken down way too early, and it was just unfortunate to see him get bagged out by Troop. But well played by Troop, just finding that opportunity, knowing that there's no way he can get that knock and then run away for safety, right? He had to take that kill. He played it. At least they get that 1 constellation point. But MND die hard. They're about to die hard as a very unsorry team comes in here to roar their dominance. Miles on the ground, and his team members, as usual, miles away from him.
Yeah, I see what you're there. I got this time. But they're continuing to fight. MND looking to go in. Atog just trying to do what he can. He gets knocked. Trixie's the last survivor. He's trying to heal. Maybe he goes for the flank. He tries. Throws up the glue wall, but he's looking to fight this one. Is he able to win this one-on-one? He's going to go hide underneath. He's just trying to ride. And he eliminates Zombie and he does get eliminated. They trade.
Oh my lord!
Things. What just happened? How did they trade?
Out of the safe zone, bro. The safe zone took care of the both of them. They were just ringing around the rosy. They forgot that they were playing Battle Royale. And yeah, your opponent hadn't killed you yet, but the safe zone was eating up their HP. But now, Blacklist International potentially looking to finish off Epic before they make their way in towards the next zone. They have about 30 seconds to get this done and to move before that pressure comes, or they can just play late, man. They can just be late to school, and you know, like the kid, basically like me, the kid who just used to sit down in class finishing up his homework from yesterday or from the weekend that he just did not touch at all. That's gonna be Blacklist International.
All right. Okay, well, I think you're underselling yourself a little bit here, but Blacklist International looking to turn it up. Did you do that too? You didn't do your homework, and then now you're turning it up like this?
Pretty much, man. Pretty much.
Right.
X-Moon, AKO, alive and kicking. Well played by AKO. Very early, loss earlier on they suffered. But now shots from, I believe, Blacklist International. AKO under a lot of pressure. Neptune knocked down onto the ground. Argon MY still alive and kicking. Freedom Rumble looking for that booyah. But it does not seem like it's going to come easy as Argon MY secures the safe zone for themselves and gatekeeps the rest of these team members.
Yeah, they're in great position. But Freedom Rumble kind of on the edge. They don't need to worry too much. This is one of those things where they've got cover now, but once they attempt to go into the circle, it's going to be wide open. So that's going to be a little bit of a concern. Argon Malaysia, on the other hand, as you mentioned, they're fortifying the middle. They do have some great spots, some decent locations, but now Freedom Rumble taking a lot of heavy fire right now.
Oh, double glue walls being played by both the players, and now Phoenix going in with the exact same play as well for the side of Blacklist International. X-Moon from the back. Can we see some pressure? But no, the zone takes him down. Arabic knocks down Neptune. Freedom Rumble losing men one after the other. A good gatekeep by the players of Argon MY. Arabic shutting down Vegeta as well, and it looks like the hopes of Freedom Rumble to pick up this final booyah is looking bleak. Too fast. He looks like he has got the 4 nades on him, but he doesn't have the distance. He cannot toss it in just yet, but if he can close the distance, bye-bye Argon MY.
Argon Malaysia, though, I mean, they're going to use this watchtower to the last possible minute because the circle is wide out in the open. Who's going to make the first move? What's going to happen? Blacklist International are starting to make their way there, but Freedom Rumble are on the other end, making sure that, Argon Malaysia don't move a step closer.
Well, Freedom Rumble, they now need to move either way the zone, forcing them in. Blacklist International still alive, but they're not putting any pressure onto Argon MY at all. And as I say that, Argon MY this time shutting down Vegeta. And now the players of Freedom Rumble, just 2 more alive in here. Blacklist already inside of that circle, which means they are going to be pressuring Argon MY. Pedro will be able to find them, and he starts the shots against them, which gives the opportunity for Freedom Rumble to get into that final zone. But Too Fast GG on the ground. Can a pickup be possible? Too Fast, the final guy, the Grenadier, gets taken out, and that's the end of Too Fast as well as the Freedom Rumble crew. And now Argon MY as well as Blacklist International. Earlier they failed. Can they hit it this time, Holla?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the final one. Arabic is looking to run around here. He's going to use the glue walls to the best of his advantage, but it looks like he's going to get the firefight. Blacklist International down to the last 2. Are they able to, or the last 3, excuse me.
Yeah, and it's gonna be Spark Pedro just running, ring around the rosy for Argon MY. But Blacklist International, they hungry. Spark gets the kill. Oh, Argon MY with Spark, the electricity, not allowing Blacklist International to stand back up. And they are reaching up for that #1 spot. What a play, what a booyah by Argon MY.
That was crazy. 7 kills to finish that off just from Arabic alone. But the fact that they were in Argon Malaysia, hey, we talked about this team. What do they need to do to catch up to Geek Fam? Get a booyah. Get yourselves a ton of kills. Put yourself in prime position. And you did a very good job there by Argon Malaysia. Very impressive there. But, Blacklist International, they got 2nd place as well. Let's not put them down at all because we were like, how are they going to respond to what happened earlier today? They're going to continue to fight. They're going to want to get themselves back in this game. They're going to be competitive even to the end. They're pretty much almost guaranteed in the top 12, especially with play like today.
And Freedom Rumble, they just needed 14 points more to cut across Argon MY. But Argon MY said, not today, my friend. No way, Jose. Not only did they pressure Freedom Rumble, not only did they kind of bag them out, shut them down, they took out Blacklist International in the most flashiest of fashion through Spark.
Yeah, it was just impressive, right? And it's funny because even to the very, very end, Blacklist International, Argon Malaysia, Freedom Rumble, like top 3 teams probably for today in just terms of play, were able to survive and gut it out, right? I think that just shows the tenacity of the team and making sure that they're getting into this level of getting themselves in a position to win, right? Sometimes you get a little lucky on that last one, and Freedom Rumble, they paid the price, so to speak, getting eliminated 3rd. But this is one of those things where you put yourself in a position to win, see if you get a little lucky, and then maybe you pull things out.
Yeah, I was quite surprised to see X Moon from Steady Squad, AKO Steady Squad, surviving for such a long time as well. But, that kind of just annoys me at the same time because I'm quite a big fan of AKO. I want them to survive longer. If you can play the game of survival, why in the world are you taking so many of these early engagements? Clearly, it's just not working out for you. And it could just be the ego creeping up because they've got the pro players on their side. They've got the experience from past competitions, but you can't let it get to your head, man. If that fast-paced action's just not doing you a lot of good, you gotta step it down a few notches.
Yeah. Play slow, play to your team's strength, right? And I think this might be one of those moments where when you see the action, you want to play fast. You want to get into it. It's your adrenaline. It's like pumping you up, trying to get you going and continue to push on. But in this case, it's like, hey, you know what I mean? Like if, Mr. D or whoever it is kind of going a little aggressive, maybe you need to tone it down. Make sure that you guys are on the same page so you figure out how to, take your next team fight.
Yeah, and this was the epic fight by Coco, but Troop managing to outplay him, just waiting for him, playing his angles really smart, but Ziga just managing to catch him out at the very end, thanks to a little bit of a backup as well. That was a 2-on-1 situation that Troop just could not handle at the very end. But if that backup was not there on time, I believe Troop could have just really put on the hurt on Team Epic, right? But of course, as things were to break down even further, it was Blacklist International that finished off the rest of the members of Epic, and even then, it was AKO Moon just crawling behind them.
Yeah, he was continuing to go in, and he was continuing to just do this. But, like, look at this. Argon Malaysia, 9 kills at this stage. I mean, just completely turning it up when they needed to. Spark was just literally a spark plug for this team and just putting it up. But we're going to see the round standings and just see how things kind of played out because, you know, again, Blacklist International, they didn't get the Booyah, but they got second place. Argon Malaysia with 12 placement points with the Booyah and 11 kills. That's a crazy number with 23 points. Blacklist International, you know, 14. Epic with 12, as well as AKO and Freedom Rumble. Epic. Did you think they were going to be top 3? I did not.
No, I definitely, didn't expect that. Yeah.
Metrics in 6th and 7th. MND Die Hard with 6 points apiece. Sorry Roar with 5. Hero with 3. No Escape Umbrella with 2. Icon with 1. And 2 Beredict with just the big fat donuts.
Yeah, AKO Steady Squad doing a lot in here, all thanks to Moon, because without him, you probably would have seen them just backing this round out with just only 5 points. So 7 of those coming exclusively from just Moon himself. Freedom Rumble, although they did a lot, unfortunately, they get 1 kill lesser than AKO Steady Squad. And, you know, just based on the tiebreaker, they drop down. And it's just a little unfortunate for them overall. But looking at how much they've managed to climb on that leaderboard so far, from that 7th spot as they started today, sneaking now, I believe, into the 3rd position. I think they have done more than enough to put a huge smile on their faces.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're the highest scorers, at least of today. We're gonna have to find the official results. Those are gonna be being tabulated on the side right now, just to see the overall standings. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Geek Fam 1, Argon 2, and then Freedom Rumble. I think you said it was gonna be 3. Yeah. I think you're right on with that one. But let's look at the round and the map recap of all day today. Round 1 went to Team Princess. They played very strong. They kind of faltered towards the end, but round 2 with EWG, round 3 Geek Fam. Round 4 with Metrics, round 5 with Freedom Rumble, and of course Argon Malaysia with that last round 6 win.
A sight to behold, most definitely, because it is rare. It is rare to not see, a lot of those Titan squads pick up the Booyahs. It's rare to see inconsistency with the teams that do manage to hit the Booyahs. None of them hitting a double in here today, but a lot of them impressing us in many different ways. And each and every single team that has stepped up here and picked up the Booyah, they most definitely did that in confidence, and it just propelled themselves into a better position where, let's just take a quick look at the overall standings to find out.
It looks like Geek Fam is going to be on top with 265, but only 15 points behind Argon Malaysia in second. Freedom Rumble, massive day, 225 points. Secret Expert in 4th place with 211. Sorry Roar and Team Princess, 188, 168. Epic, EWG, and then Blacklist International all the way into the 9th position today. A huge drop off for them. AKO Steady Squad into 10th. Icon in 11th. Metrics in 12th. 13th at 2 Beredict. They're still in the running. They still have a chance for that 12th position, as well as Nox Escape Umbrella with 14th. Devour in 15th, 16th, New Gank, 17th, Hero, and MND Die Hard will be your 18th place team.
I am impressed. Team Princess climbing up from the 10th position all the way up into that 6th spot and maintaining it, right? Consistency, climbing above Epic. This is just amazing to see them coming through. We do apologize for the little bit of the mess up there with the graphics, but sorry Raw, they're not too far away from them, man. 20 points away. And Team Princess, if they continue this momentum, I think they're going to be able to catch up to Sorry Raw, because they have been, kind of struggling in here today.
Yeah. And I mean, that was the case, right? Like, we didn't really talk too much about Sorry Roar, I think, just overall, but they were very, able to get some sort of points just surviving, right? I think that was the biggest thing. They weren't the biggest killers today.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, it's overall a lot happening in here as we expected, but not in the way we expected things to unfold, right? And a lot of it is caused by Garena Free Fire and their brilliant idea to shuffle the groups halfway through the competition in the league stages, Holla.
Yeah, it completely shakes things up, right? It makes things better. I think it does. I mean, unfortunately, in this case, it was Group C just, carried over to Group A, except for like one team. But I think that was the only difference. I mean, it's the luck of the draw. Sometimes these things happen. It's completely random in how they did it. But, it is what it is. And we're in that situation now where maybe the other teams that are not going to be facing Group A all so much have a better opportunity, right?
Yeah, and now Duo Beradik kind of still just maintaining around the 12th spot. But let's take a look at who's the MVP that impressed everyone the most. This time it goes to Blacklist International, the one and only Miro. 8 kills, 4 assists, impressive stats out there. 53.4% on the hit rate, dealing a total of 3,140 damage. And, you know, this is what we're talking about, right? Blacklist International picking up the MVP because they were the most aggressive ones out there in these final 2 rounds because they had no choice. They had to get everything put out there.
And this is one of those situations where, yeah, you've done really well on your tests earlier in this in the season, so to speak. But this is one of those points where now you're, kind of at risk, right?
Yeah.
You need to start picking it back up. You cannot just kind of, go lazy for the rest of this league or whatever. You need to really step it up, make sure that you're in there because of the fact that, hey, there's still league money play. You might actually get delegated if you're not into the top 12. You're technically in the 8th position as Blacklist International. You have that potential. So seeing as that you have that fear, that risk that you might drop in is going to want to make you play a little bit stronger.
Yeah, but I think what's going to be motivating Blacklist International to play harder from here on is the fact that, I mean, at the end of the day, most of these guys, they're kids, right? They make a couple of mistakes here and there, but I really like the way they look at their mistakes. I really like the way they look at whenever they are dealt a tough spot, a tough card, it just motivates them to put out so much more effort out there on the battlefield in no matter whatever they do. And I think it's just going to be a very cute incentive, a challenge for them to see, okay, now we've fallen because of a mistake that we have made, but how far can we actually climb up the leaderboard before the grand finals? I'm not too concerned. I'm not even not too concerned. I'm not concerned at all with them not being able to make it to the grand finals. I know they'll make it. But the question is, how far can these cheeky boys now climb up the ladder after they have beaten themselves down?
Yeah. I mean, it was a mistake that they made on the team and themselves, so I'm sure they're just kicking themselves more than anything else. But this is one of those things where it's not like career threatening. You can still get yourself back into this. At this point, it's just the statement, right?
Yeah.
All the teams that you step over now and you continue to climb, you could just be like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't say it here because it's a family show, but you know what I mean, right? You're gonna want to, do a little trash talking. You're gonna put them in their place, so to speak.
Absolutely. And you're really proving a lot if you drop down and then you climb right back up. And the other teams that you climb over are most definitely going to be feeling sore, man, because you're just stomping them down as you maneuver your way up to the top, right? And I think that they are most definitely a team that's mechanically sound to pull something like that off. But this situation has also given birth to a lot of confidence in the other teams now to fight Geek Fam for that number 1 spot. Blacklist International, out you go. A few other top contenders, and now the top 3 Geek Fam, Argon MY, as well as Freedom Rumble. We can expect a lot from them. And Secret Expert, they've started stepping up as well. So I'm quite interested to see exactly how well this competition continues with these guys looking for the top spot, Holla.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be a race to the end. I think at the end of the day, we're going to be very surprised. I think that even getting into the grand finals is going to be a bit of a race in and of its own. I think the league is perfectly set up for the drama and the storylines and all of the things that are going to happen. And unfortunately, this is going to be my last cast on Challengers Malaysia. I know, AJ, you're going to continue on, and I want you to just, continue to spread the storylines and, cheering for the underdog. That's a big thing for me, and I hope you do that. That's my only request to you moving forward, AJ. It's been a pleasure, though.
I will make you proud, brother. I hope to shoutcast with you a little bit more. It's my last day here too for the time being, but I will be back for the grand finals. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on that note, Holla and the Mustachio signing off. Don't miss this too much.
taking over tonight. My star is shining bright.
Triple kill.
Kepantasan, ketakasan dan kepintaran adalah syarat untuk memenangi cabaran ini. Siapakah yang akan memenangi? Adakah pasukan pemain kita ataupun Mr. Wega?
Anda sedang menonton rancangan permainan Free Fire Challengers Malaysia. Nama saya Timu Stasiun AJ bersama Haji Yan. Dan untuk merancakkan lagi peringkat akhir FFCM, kita ada wakil daripada Blacklist International dan juga Geek Fam. Ya. Blacklist International akan participate dalam game yang pertama, Geek Fam akan participate dalam game yang kedua. Dan dalam game yang ketiga, mereka akan bergabung kuasa untuk menewaskan Mr. Wagon.
Jangan lupa untuk mengundi salah satu daripada 5 ganjaran milestone penonton yang bakal anda terima sekiranya para pemain menang.
Cabaran kita yang pertama diberikan nama The Safe Zone Royale.
Mengekalkan diri di dalam safe zone adalah keutamaan permainan Battle Royale. Pemain dan Mr. Wagger harus lari mengelilingi bulatan sehingga muzik berhenti. Pasukan pertama yang duduk di atas kerusi di dalam zon selamat menang.
Looking at the fact, it is a 2 versus 1. So it will be a 3-legged race by Blacklist International.
Round 1.
Mr. Wagger, are you ready? Blacklist International, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2.
Train! Kita lihat kan betapa struggle-nya player kita dengan berkaki 3 untuk mengejar Mr. Wagger.
Showtime. Oh, sempat moonwalk lagi, Mr.
Yeah.
Wagger. Blacklist International tidak dapat menangkap the one and only Mr. Wagger.
何お前はもう死んでいる。
They almost mampu menolak kerusi, tetapi Blacklist International tidak mau mengalah.
Yeah.
They get the victory.
Oh,
So it looks like our challengers, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
Yeah.
have gotten the first 10 points. And Mr. Wagger with the big bad swagger. Nampaknya moonwalk dia pun tidak memberikan kita apa-apa.
ya, betul tu. Nampaknya Mr. Wagger harus cuba dengan lebih keras untuk round yang seterusnya.
Macam terlalu senang pula untuk Blacklist tadi.
Apa kata kita panggil Akik daripada Geek Fam
Oh, what a
untuk
great idea.
menentukan nasib pasukan Blacklist untuk pertandingan kedua. Anda diminta untuk spin dekat sini apakah handicap kepada pasukan Blacklist. Mulakan putaran anda sekarang.
So nampaknya tidak boleh berkomunikasi lah kali ni
Selalunya kalau final zone tak ada komunikasi, mereka akan mati di dalam zone.
Round 2.
Kalau kita lihatkan pasukan Blacklist, salah seorang playernya tak dengar muzik. Dia pakaikan headphone, dia